I did something I very rarely do yesterday, David. Responded to a tweet.
Ooh.
Steve Politi, of all people. And I like him. I think we've had him
Yeah.
on the show a dozen times probably over the years.
Yeah.
But he made a very, I thought, ignorant comment, and I had to take him to task. With those Rutgers wrestlers getting caught in that gambling ring. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't.
It was in the Post. I mean, come on, David. It was in the Post. Look at me telling you Post stories. But they busted two former collegiate wrestlers in this huge gambling ring tied to, I think, the Luciano family.
Okay.
And he's like, I don't understand why anyone would illegally gamble anymore.
Oh.
I'm like, dude, you're from Jersey. How can you even say that? And I just put really question mark. Bookies take credit.
Right.
Illegal casinos don't. Secondly, those who think they are going to win do not want to be taxed on their winnings. I mean, there are a lot of reasons to use the guy still.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we are almost ready to roll here. It's on you, Kevin Ball. That's a play you got to make right now.
Phew.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. Hope your week has gone well and we can, well, get the finale off to a good start. Obviously, a Football Friday. And while there was Maction to get us from Monday Night Football to Thursday Night Football, let the games begin. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How are you?
I am doing well. I don't know if I'm doing as well as that very boisterous how the heck are you was this morning. Somebody either is in a mood or they got a good night's sleep or C, both.
3:48 a.m. Eastern time was the wake-up call. I was prepared for this Football Friday. Made sure I got Lee's picks, my picks. All right, got the starting five done. Got, the compartments on my, me and my notebook, Mark. I got room for your picks, room for our straight-up NFL picks. Want to make sure I didn't miss anything because I took most of yesterday off. I did something I don't normally do. I put my feet up. I took a 3-hour nap. And I watched a whole bunch of shows that I've taped and I'm way behind on. A whole bunch of shows. And a little bit of the Patriots Jets.
Yeah, I watched, I don't know, 3/4, kind of. I was watching the Wings in Anaheim, and I was watching the second half of that Purdue-Alabama game.
And I was too.
We told you yesterday, and I know most of you don't like the NBA, but a lot of you like college hoop. And we told you this will be a good game.
Yep.
Alabama plays a pace that makes their games enjoyable to watch.
Very.
And it was back and forth. No team ever had a really big lead.
Nope.
And Purdue basically armbarred them at the end. It was an entertaining basketball game.
First top 10 matchup of the season, although Kentucky and Louisville were close the other day. That was 9 versus 12, I believe. But two top 10 teams. Alabama had the most impressive win of the young season until maybe Purdue's win last night over Alabama. And you're right, Mark. Played at a good pace, too.
Right.
Both teams got stops. Both teams' best players played well. Okay, the game was in the 80s. All right, good stuff. Good stuff all the way around. Credit to both Purdue and Alabama for scheduling the game and then both showing up. And Alabama has given us, between the win at St. John's at the Garden and last night, Alabama has given us the most entertaining basketball of the young season. And speaking of college hoops, Jay Lucas, the new Miami men's basketball coach, will join us in about 3 hours. They're taking on the Gators this Sunday in Jacksonville.
Boy, I tell you what, maybe they've got a shot. I mean, the Gators are a really good team. They're a top 10 team. They deserve to be, or they were a top 10 team. I don't know if they still are. I think they are.
I think
after
they're
after they lost Arizona early in the year in another entertaining game. But Florida State took them right to the end of that game. So the Gators have a shot there. Look at us on a football Friday. See, you're not ready for us. We're going college hoop on you off the start.
Just for a moment or two.
For
but
like
the first
3 minutes.
Right. And now we'll take 3 hours off. But the first
3 months.
The first team to 9 in the NFL, of course, it's your New England Patriots. First team to 9 wins. They still haven't had their bye. 8 in a row. What is this? Belichick, Brady, and the boys? Man, oh man. That Bills era lasted a long time, didn't it? And it was a nice little, was it about 5 years?
Yeah.
You know, it was Tom and the boys through 2019. That was his last year in New England. And then, you know, Bill had like 4 more years. Only one of them was any good. And then obviously last year didn't go very well. And now Vrabel and Drake May, they're like, no, we can take it from here. We gave Buffalo 5. Okay, we gave Buffalo 5. They had to deal with the Dolphins in the 70s. Okay, and the Dolphins and the Jets and us in the 80s. You know, the 90s, you know, it was them for the most part. And then, you know, we had 20 years. They didn't have anything. So we gave them 5. It's a nice gesture. Okay, we like the folks from Buffalo. Patriots said, we can give you 5. Okay, till we figure it out, till we get it right. We got to get the right coach and the right quarterback.
And it looks like they have both. You know, thus far, now I will say, I mean, look, I think Drake May is going to be great. I think he's excellent. I like everything about him. The one advantage he has over the other rookie quarterbacks from that class is he didn't play the first part of the season. There's not the film on him that there are the others. So we'll see if come playoff time with more film, they start to figure this young man out. But thus far, he has done an amazing job. You know, Josh McDaniels knows how to coach an offense. He does. Mike Vrabel knows how to coach, period. They've got a running back that a certain guy on this show, David Moulton, told you about a long time ago that he was in love with. He's found his form.
I said offensive rookie of the year would be Tyler Warren 1 and Trevion Henderson 2. And for whatever reason, they didn't play Trevion for nearly the first half of the year. But an injury opened things up. Where have we heard that before for young Patriot players? An injury opens up playing time. And here we go. Here we go. Give me the damn ball, is what Trevion Henderson's saying.
An injury and a fumble problem of the starter.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I mean, he was fumbling the ball, and, you know, whether Trevion couldn't pick up the blitz or whatever the case may be. He's got speed to burn. We all watched that last week. Had another really nice game last night. And, you know, this Diggs guy can still be, you know, he's not an elite one, but he's still a good one, if you know what I mean, David.
9 catches, 12 yards a catch. All right. He may not have found the end zone for those of you fantasy owners, but yes, Mark, he is this year saying, don't put me in the number 2 wide receiver category just yet. It's soon. It's coming up fast on the outside, but I would still like to be at the bottom of the number 1 wide receiver list. Thank you very much.
And you know what's happening. And I'll tell you, I guarantee you it's happening even more today. I have a bunch of friends who are Patriots fans, but one I probably talk sports with more than anyone. Great guy, Gino from Melrose. Doesn't get more mass than this guy. It doesn't. I'm telling you right now. And Gino got in a little car wreck last week, and he got banged up pretty good. And he's been on the mend. So I've been texting with him, just kind of checking on him. And another mutual friend of ours said he was going to try to get him to come up to where we all play golf and watch games on Sunday. And I said, you think he's ready for a bar stool for 4 hours? How about if I have you two over to my house, and then he can have a couch? And so I sent him a text yesterday, and to see if he wanted to. First off, I invited him over to the house to watch the games. And it wasn't just a yes, David. It was how he said the yes, and it was in very Patriot fashion to me, because he said, big game tonight. Go Pats. Sunday sounds awesome. Nothing better watching football sitting at 9-2. They're starting to feel it again in New England, David. They're starting to feel it.
They never really lost their mojo. They just put it to the side.
Right. They did. They just said, well, none of you have ever had a run like this.
Right.
So we're just going to take a break until we're back.
Right.
And when they got Vrabel, trust me, to a man, the Patriot fan thought, yeah, I think we got the right guy here. They didn't say much, and that's hard for them. They were silent, but they deep down thought, this could work.
And it's working.
Yes, it is.
And it's working. And, the Commanders were the oldest team in the league last year. The Commanders are one of the oldest teams in the league this year. That is not the case in New England. That is not the case at all. And they've got picks, and they've got cap room, and they got a quarterback who looks pretty good, and he's on year 2. So it could be go time a lot sooner than even Vrabel and the boys thought.
We thought they were a team that could win 7-8 games this year. We thought that they would definitely improve.
Yes.
And then when they beat Buffalo, we looked at their schedule and said, is this year's Washington? As a matter of fact, it appears that it's going to be. It might even be a little bit better.
I was going to say, Washington had to settle for second place going on the road in the playoffs. Could it be?
Now there's still another match with the Bills left, and they've got the Ravens on the schedule. So it's not done. But the Bills certainly helped by laying an egg in Miami last week.
We joked earlier in the week with our television viewing. We just won our 2008 cable back. I kind of feel like in the AFC, is this Brady and Manning and the Patriots and the Colts? And we're about to have like a 6-8 year run. I know, getting a little excited, but we didn't expect this soon. We thought we could push these teams to the side. We dealt with these guys for a long time.
Well, let's slow the roll on Danny Dimes being the guy just yet. But that team, if he's even close to being a top 12 quarterback, that Colt team, they've got everybody signed for the next 5 years. I mean, they're in really good shape, and we think that they'll sign Daniel Jones here in the offseason. If Daniel Jones is smart, he'll take a Baker-like deal to stay in Indy with that running back, that receiver, that tight end.
Yeah, but all these AFC fans, they were like, okay, we replaced the Patriots and the Colts, and we replaced them with the Chiefs and a little Bills and a little Ravens. And, okay, well, now who's going to take down the Chiefs? Please, it's time to take down the Chiefs. And the sports god said, well, how about we go to the Patriots and the Colts? And the AFC fans are going, no!
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local Glass Doctor for details.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Pastor Jones, I'm curious. They QBs suck. Who JT for Prez? What are you talking about, dude? I mean, Pastor Jones. The first off, for the pastor to go suck, I'm a little confused by the pastor using those type of hostile words. Jesus comes in the chat room regularly, and he speaks with a lot more eloquence than Pastor Jones does early. But to each his own. Got in the car yesterday, David, and I had NBC Sports on because I'll listen to Dan Patrick for the little bit that I drive. And in the afternoons, they run the Lebitard show. And David was on. And it was hysterical. He's got all this stuff going on, and he's still trying to work. And he's in New York, and he has to go to the studios to do the Sporting Life with Pablo Torre and Skipper. So he takes one of those electric bikes that you rent.
Yep.
And apparently you have to put them in a parking spot, like a designated parking spot for those bikes. Well, there wasn't one available by where the studio was to do the Sporting Life. So he carried the bike
into the
studio, and the battery went dead. And when that happens, the thing sounds the alarm like someone stole it. So instead of the guy helping him carry the bike downstairs, which he said they're very heavy, the guy said content and starts filming David carrying the bike.
That's great.
And I sent him a nice text. I just
coughing by. If Iowa beats USC, we'll be in Columbus. It'll be a 3:30 game. If USC beats Iowa, it will likely be a noon game because I believe CBS has first choice and will take USC at Oregon.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
20 minutes past the hour on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Lee Sterling to make his picks, top of the hour. Pat Kirwan to address this week, a terrific week in the NFL, which got started last night with the Patriots winning their 8th in a row. And they have got the pedal to the metal and putting the pressure on the Bills. I mean, the Bucs can afford to lose in Buffalo. Buffalo can't afford to lose in Buffalo.
No, they cannot.
I mean,
no, they're out of get out of jail free cards, if you know what I mean.
And Bills and Chiefs both, right? If they lose this week, it's not that they're going to miss the playoffs. We don't believe that. But if they lose this week, they're going the wild card route.
Right. I believe that. I think if Denver gets Kansas City, I think that when you look at Denver's schedule, they should be able to get to 12 if they win this week. And I don't see how that means Kansas City's not going to catch them. That's what it means.
Yeah, because
they could.
They'd have to run the table just to get to 12, and the Chiefs would already have, a loss to the Chargers, loss to the Broncos, and so, it'd be tough.
Right. The Bills, if they lose one more, they're already 2 back of New England. That would make, that now would make them 3. So then you look at the Patriots schedule, even if they lose to the Ravens and the Bills, they would have to be upset to not win the division. And it leaves no room for air for Buffalo the rest of the way.
I think the Bills, though, are only 1 back in the loss column. I think they're a game and a half back. They've played 1 less game because they've had their bye. Aren't the Bills 6-3?
Yeah.
Right. So if they win this week, they're 7-3. They're a game and a half back, but they're 1 in the loss column. So, but it feels like a must. It really does. Don't know if the Bills have much margin for error the rest of the way. And that Dolphins loss looms huge right now.
And look, I don't think Houston is a good team, but the Bills after this still have to go to Houston. They have to go to Pittsburgh. I don't worry about that as much, but they also play the Eagles. Their schedule the rest of the way is tougher than New England's. But that's for another day. This is a terrific. I mean, this is as good as it gets in the NFL regular season. There are so many games that have meaning for both teams at a bunch of different levels. We talked about it a bit yesterday. I mean, the 4 o'clock window is spectacular, but at 1, Chargers and Jags, it seems so big to me for the Jags. Yeah, they could lose the game and still make the playoffs. I get it. But after the way they lost last week, I think Sunday is critical for Jacksonville. I think they've got a lot to prove to themselves.
Yeah, the 2 most costly losses last week, Carolina losing to the Saints, but the Jags blowing the 19-point fourth quarter lead. Because think about the potential ramifications if the Jags had held on last week. First off, how much pressure the Chiefs would feel. They'd be a game back in the loss column of both the Chargers and the Jags, having lost to both the Chargers and the Jags already. And then obviously those 2 teams were playing each other, and Kansas City, if they lost to Denver, they're in real trouble for making the playoffs. But now Jags collapse, and the Chiefs say to the Chargers, hey, just do us one more solid, all right? Or do they? Do you think if the Chiefs say, you know what, we'll chase down the Jags?
I don't think the Chiefs care. I don't. But, David, I may be pulling a Moulton here. You sometimes read more into things than is actually there. I think this game is so flippin' big for the Jags. I don't even think it's just this season. I think it's the future of Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, wow.
I think this game, if they lose and he plays great, fine. You know, they lose a 31-28 game and Trevor plays really well. But if they lose and Trevor pulls another Trevor, you know, gets sacked a few times, throws a pick in the end zone, you know, Trevor Lawrence football. I just think that this game is so big for Trevor. It's big for the Liam Cohn era as the head coach. We talked about it yesterday, David. You made the comparison. You asked me, is this the Hail Mary that the Bears blew and what happened to their season after they lost? I think it is. Prove me wrong, Jacksonville. Show me you're more than this, because you never really have been. You've had moments, but when the rubber meets the road, you guys crumble. So show me something, Jacksonville. Impress me on Sunday. That's just one game. We already mentioned the Bucs and the Bills, Bears and Vikings. Oh, man, you look at that Bears schedule, there's not very many easy games left. Vikings trying to push their way back into the playoff hunt. That division is brutal.
Vikings with a win get to 5-5. There'll be a game behind the Bears, but they will have swept the Bears.
Bingo.
Okay, now they're still behind the Bears. They'd be behind the Niners, no matter what the Niners do. Sunday, I mean, you know, it's still an uphill road. But if you look at the Vikings schedule, I think that after the Bears game, the Vikings look at the schedule and go, we could put together a little 3-4 gamer, and then it's brutal to finish.
Other way around, but because they finish easier. After this week, the Vikings go to the Packers, to the Seahawks. Those are not cupcakes. But they end with Washington, Dallas, the Giants, before the Lions and Packers, which they get both at home.
But if you think about it, if the Vikings lose this week, that's 4-6, with Green Bay and Seattle coming up, and the season is likely lost. So a couple of teams facing what feel like must-wins this week.
And then a ridiculous 4 o'clock window. Seahawks and Rams not getting the national coverage. It deserves it. It's probably the best game of the day, but the national game, Chiefs and Broncos. Can the Broncos put a stranglehold on the division? Bo Nix has not looked good. However, all he's been doing is winning. And we give a lot of teams. We spent all last year giving Mahomes all kinds of credit for winning ugly. When you've done it, and you've done it at the highest level, when you win ugly, you get credit for winning the close games. When you haven't done it, and you're a young quarterback, and you win close games, we question you. Well, this is the game where we get the answers from Sean Payton and Bo Nix to me. What can they do against the Chiefs on Sunday?
And the Chiefs, a clear favorite. What's it, 3.5, 4?
3.5 on the road.
I mean, Broncos have won how many in a row? 7. And the Chiefs are a 3.5-point favorite in Denver. I'll tell you, no respect. I mean, no respect at all.
And then Sunday night, I saw that if the Lions win on one of these prediction models, that the Lions, if they lose, have a 1% chance of being the 1 seed. If they win, it's around 20%. Whereas the Eagles, if they win, it goes to around 50% of them being the 1. If they lose, it's still only 20%. So a lot on the line for the Lions on the road in Philadelphia. Terrific Sunday. And some big games Saturday. Alabama and Oklahoma. Georgia and Texas. Notre Dame and Pitt. South Florida and Navy. Biggest game for South Florida in a long, long time. Lee Sterling in 30 minutes. The starting 5. That's next on Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real. This year during Thanksgiving week, Fort Myers takes the national stage, hosting not 1 but 2 elite women's college basketball tournaments, the Fort Myers Tip-Off and Coconut Hoops, both featuring Power 4 teams and nationally ranked programs. Few places in the country can showcase this level of talent. We're proud that Fort Myers is one of them. Don't miss your chance. For tickets, go to visitfortmyers.com/basketball. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Pelican. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Jagon, I disagree with you. If they were undefeated, I still don't think they would have won 2 more close games. I don't think they'd be favored. I don't. They've won all these games in a row, and they're not favored. remember, it's not just who they think's going to win. They know the betting public, Jay Gunn. You know, Vegas, yeah, but there are point spreads that are always different than what they actually think the games are going to be. The betting public, the morons, bet their favorite teams. And right now, the Chiefs are one of their favorite teams. So I believe, and David, I don't know about you, but Jay Gunn was saying that that Denver would have been favored if they would have won their 2 close games. I don't think they would have. I think this is Vegas knowing the betting public. I think Vegas thinks this game is closer to 1.5 pick'em, but they know that
people are going to bet the Chiefs.
Right. That's shocking, Phil. Wow. Well, Michael, I know you don't care. Look, Denver's the best. The Avs are the best. The Nuggets are the best. Hell, the Rockies will probably win the World Series next year. Deion Sanders is a god, and the Colorado Buffaloes are the next greatest thing on earth. We get it. We know who you root for. We know. I was answering a question, okay? See if the Avs can get out of the playoffs. See if the Nuggets can get to the finals. And let's see if your Broncos can win on Sunday. And winning streaks in November in hockey and basketball means squadoosh. My Pistons are in first place. They ain't the best team in the East. By the way, how about the Cavs playing everybody and still getting whacked last night?
So how about they sit 3 top players and beat the Heat? Although the Heat sat a couple guys. And then they play everybody and Toronto whacks them.
And what crap did you just hear about the Chiefs? What I talked about was Las Vegas, Michael. You have selective hearing, and then you attack the host of the show because we don't preach your narrative.
The unfortunate thing for the Broncos, Michael, is you haven't won a playoff game in 10 years. So even if you win the West, there'll be expectations and pressure on you to win 1 or 2 playoff games. But it's working.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour, and that's when Lee Sterling joins us. He'll make his picks, then we'll make ours. Remember, you go the other way on ours. Oh, man, would you make a lot of money?
It's so bad.
How bad is it, Mark?
David, I know you probably wouldn't want it this way, but I would much prefer that the other 11 segments of the show completely suck on Friday, and that segment was money. I'm pretty confident that the 11 segments that we do outside of our picks are pretty good content. You may differ as an audience because you come and go as you please. But the pick segment is so bad that we should really quit doing it. Like, there's a reason why the Hard Rock hasn't sponsored us. Why would they?
Well, because we talk sports and we talk gambling. And besides, okay, there are people that are taking our picks and going the other way.
And I hope so. I am 9 games below 500. And yet it is so much better than where you are. It's not even funny. You are 31-51 on the season.
I have me 32-51, but I could be off.
All right. Well, I thought I did a pretty good job of keeping track of these. No, I'm sorry. You are 32-51.
Right.
David, you know what? The segment's great. David's 32.
This is how great the segment is, though. If you went the other way, you are 83 and 55. You are crushing it going the other way. And that's why we continue to do the segment, because many of you by now are taking our picks and going the other way. And in a couple of weeks, I'm just going to start going the other way myself. I'm going to say I like so-and-so -7, so I'm going to take so-and-so +7.
It is the hardest thing to do as someone who has to pick games on the record because it's going badly. And you pick the game, you know you had a bad week, but this is going to be the week. We are the epitome of degenerate gamblers.
Which
and
is
David
why
goes, hey, how much money is left in the Hard Rock account? There ain't anything left in it. How could there be anything left in it?
Why?
All we do is lose.
Why? Monday through Thursday for free, we get most of those picks right. How come we're only betting the picks we make on Friday? Doesn't make any sense. Time now for
The Starting Five. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is The Starting Five.
I don't know if you've heard, but The Starting Five is brought to you by Lee County in Florida, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism. BST. You can do business in Lee County while enjoying a BLT. Thursday night football, the Patriots have won 8 in a row. Trevion Henderson, 3 touchdowns, 2 of them rushing. Drake May threw for 281 yards and a score. Stephon Diggs, 9 catches, 105 yards. Patriots are 9-2. Nobody else has 9 wins. 27-14 over the Jets. This is either a great win or a bad beat for the better. When did you get this game? This game opened at 13.5, was 13.5 most of the week. By kickoff, it was 12.5. When did you get this game? Other NFL news, Jets before the game plays wide receiver Garrett Wilson on the injured list. That's at least 4 weeks missed with a knee. Brock Purdy feeling the best he's felt all year, he says. Likely to start for the Niners against Arizona Sunday. C.J. Stroud not going to play Sunday against the Titans in Nashville. He will miss his second straight game due to a concussion. The Jags released defensive tackle Caden Saunders yesterday. He's got a couple Super Bowl rings. He's a veteran big body. I could see the Bears or the Chiefs or somebody like that picking him up. College football, 1 game last night. Old Dominion won their 7th game of the year, shutting out Troy, 33-0. Wow.
Isn't that our guy from Washington there that does the games for ODU?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. By the way, a couple of games tonight, if you can't wait till the weekend. Clemson and Louisville, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Louisville, a 2.5-point home favorite. What would it have been if they beat Cal? And Oregon's laying 25.5 at home against Minnesota. 9 o'clock tonight on Big Fox. It's a lot of points. Last easy one for Oregon before USC and Washington to end the regular season. Utah Athletic Director Mark Harlan, he is returning to the College Football Selection Committee, and Arkansas AD Hunter Yurachek is the new chair of the committee. The current chair had to step away. Apparently he's being investigated, back at his day job for not doing everything on the up and up. Colorado AD Rick George, he's had the job for what will be 13 years, but he's walking away from it at the end of this school year. He obviously was the gentleman who hired Dion. And the Pac-12 signed a TV deal with the USA Networks, but it's basically with USA Network because I don't think a whole lot of Pac-12 games are going to be appearing on CNBC or the Golf Channel. It's a 5-year deal. It starts next year. It goes through the spring of 2031. College hoops last night, really good one in Tuscaloosa. Hats off to Purdue and Alabama for playing the game, and hats off to Purdue for winning it. The second-ranked Boilermakers will probably be number 1 after beating Alabama on the road 87-80. Their All-American point guard, Braden Smith, with 29 in the win.
He's fun to watch. He's one of those guys that I don't think is going to be at a good pro at all, but he's a really fun college player, David.
He's also a guy that they have lived with. As a freshman, he had that awful NCAA tournament game. I think as a freshman, he was on the team that got beat in the first round. And then he has matured and become an All-American. I mean, this is how college basketball used to be, Braden Smith right here. Michigan State took care of San Jose State 79-60. Next up for the Spartans, Kentucky at Madison Square Garden. FIU a loser at LSU last night, 98-81. Tonight, UCF is at A&M. On the women's side, FGCU, Miami, and Florida, all winners. NBA action. Toronto went into Cleveland, beat the Cavs by 13. Phoenix won their 5th straight. They beat Indiana 133-98. The Pacers went to Game 7 of the finals last year. They're 1-11. 1-11. This is unbelievable. This is like worse than, remember when the Marlins won the World Series and they traded off their whole team? The Marlins were more competitive in 98 than the Pacers are right now. Stunning. Now, Halliburton's out for the year, and they lost Turner in free agency, and they got a couple guys hurt. So they're not the same team, but 1-11? Wow. Atlanta, Jalen Johnson. How about this little line? 31 points, 18 rebounds, 14 assists. Is that working for you? They beat Utah in Utah by 10, 132-122. Hawks are 8-5. Steph Curry and Under Armour are getting a divorce. Well, you know, the kids have left the house and they've gone off to college, and the love's just not there anymore. They stayed together for the kids, but after 13 years together, they're going their separate ways in early 2026. Steph left Nike for Under Armour because Nike wouldn't give him a signature shoe. Under Armour gave him a lot more than that. Whole bunch of hockey games. Panthers got 2 from Sam Reinhart in a 6-3 win over the Caps, in which Brad Marchand picked up his 1,000th point. As if there's any doubt he's going to the Hall of Fame.
No, there's not any doubt. He walks in. He doesn't have to run. They hold the door open for him as he walks into the Hall of Fame, you know, carrying whichever cup he wants to carry.
John Tavares with 2 goals, but the Leafs lost in overtime to the Kings 4-3. How about those Dallas Stars? They go into Montreal, who's been a good, exciting young team this year, and whipped them 7-spit. Their 4th straight win. Ottawa snapped the Bruins' 7-game winning streak. They beat the Bruins 5-3. Detroit, they got a couple of goals from that, how do you pronounce it?
DeBrincat
in a 6-3 win over Anaheim. Draisaitl with 2 goals, but Columbus beat Edmonton 5-4. Martin Necas with 2 goals, 2 assists for the Avs, who have won 5 in a row. They double up Buffalo 6-3. Calgary shuts out San Jose 2-0, just the Flames' 5th win in 19 games. The Islanders got a shorthanded goal in overtime to beat Vegas 4-3. And Seattle gets 2 goals from Jordan Eberle in the 3rd to beat Winnipeg 5-3. In golf on the PGA Tour, they're in Bermuda. Not many events left for guys to save their PGA Tour card. Sure enough, one of those, Adam Hadwin, barely in the top 150 in the FedEx standings. He's your first-round leader at 6 under, although not everybody finished. There's a handful of golfers still on the course, including, Mark, our buddy Frankie Sappin, who's 4 under, 2 shots off the lead with 2 holes to play.
David, I just want to give you a quick correction. He's 1 shot off the lead because he's got 1 hole left to play. He birdied the par 5 17th this morning.
Oh, that's right. A little early sunlight in Bermuda.
There you go.
Damn.
There
Way
you
to
go,
Frankie. Way to go, Frankie. And meanwhile, on the LPGA Tour, they're playing the Annika near Orlando. named after Annika Sorenstam. She hosts the tournament. All right. Haran Rue is your one-shot leader at 6 under par. Defending champ Nelly Korda is 7 shots back. But the headliner of the day was 18-year-old amateur Kai Trump, the granddaughter of the president. She shot a 13 over 83 in her first ever round on the LPGA Tour. She will be a student at the University of Miami next year. And at 10 minutes before the hour, that was the starting five. 5 big stories and a trumper here on Miller and Moulton.
Question for you.
Yes.
If Kaya Trump there started dating Charlie Woods, would that be like the golf super couple? I'm guessing they know each other. Have they been in the same tournaments, been around the same places? They're from the same area.
Well,
Don't know where he's going to college. He's got 1 more year left, right, before he goes to college?
Is he 16? She's 18. So, Mark.
Having a little fun. I'm just having a little fun, everybody. Calm down.
Yes, Mark. The internet would break. The golf internet would certainly break, especially during this off season. My goodness. Just killing time till they start playing again in January or early February, whenever it is that you, and I don't mean just you, I mean you, the sports fan, will turn golf back on for the first time.
That'll be the players would be my guess.
Come on, you won't turn it on at Pebble? At the West Coast swing?
You know what? Some pretty pictures from Pebble and Torrey Pines, and then you got Phoenix Super Bowl weekend. So yeah, You're right. There's a couple of tourneys there that are worth watching.
There you go. So Miller and Moulton. Lee Sterling coming up in about 10 minutes time with his picks. Then we'll make ours. Please go the other way. I mean,
I've got 4 right now, David. I only have 4.
Oh, I have 9.
There's a shocker.
I have 9. Well, I've done better with 9 than with 5, 6, or 7.
I have a theme to my picks. I am waiting on a question to be answered before I make my 5th pick, if it indeed gets answered before we make our picks.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, how cursed I am this year. So I made 6 college football picks last week, and I went 3-3. 2 of those picks were mine. And by mine, I mean, I just looked through the games and I said, I like this one. I like this one. I didn't care about trends or what have you. I went 2-0 on those. The other 4 picks, I picked the 4 best teams against the spread in college football this year. And they went 1-3 for me. One of those teams had not lost a game all year against the number. When did they lose it? When I picked them. All right. That's the kind of year I'm having. So when I'm urging you to go the other way, run. Don't walk. Run the other way.
Yeah. Put it this way. Our picks are so bad that there are rumors out there that while Rob Manfred was able to get with DraftKings and set a limit on prop bets in Major League Baseball, there is a very high likely chance that there are going to be limits on going the other way on Miller and Moulton bets. Football season is back, and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell them Miller and Moulton sent you.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best, Be Cape.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Panda, that stings. I mean, it really stings, but my goodness, is it true?
Got that right, Fly Panda.
Morning, guys.
Hi, Lee.
Morning.
How are you?
Morning.
We
How about
used
some
to
of
be-
these? Go ahead. We're going to say,
We
David?
used to be the last couple of years, I think, your first one of the day, but you've got somebody before us now, don't you?
Two, Columbus and Baltimore.
Hello.
Yeah. So, yeah. With a guy named Tito. He's a character. And Bobby Carpenter.
Oh, yeah, the 6 to 9 show. Yeah, in Columbus. Yeah.
They get huge ratings.
Yes, they
huge.
do. Huge.
Yeah. So they're the only game in town.
And that's a great sports market.
Great. People
Great
don't
sports
realize
market.
it.
So underrated. It's a great
Yeah.
sports market.
So they now go digital and they have two separate shows in the morning. Is that crazy?
Wow.
A digital show and two separate shows going.
because that's how we're on in Jacksonville. We're on an app,
Oh, okay. Okay.
the #1 news station. Okay. They took and they decided to have a 24-hour sports show, but they put it on an app.
Okay.
So we're their morning show. One of their main sports guys, Brent Martineau, is the featured guy from 10 to 1. And then they've got a bunch of shows. They cover the local scene the way
Okay.
local TVs covered sports 30, 40 years ago.
Okay. I just sent you the game of the weekend.
Yep.
Look at what I put together with all my old gumball helmets.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's awesome.
That's
So if
awesome.
you open it up, I have every single NFL team from 1960 to 2002. There's even, if you open it up to the right, the Dolphins, when they were going to come out in 66, they thought that they were going to come out with an orange helmet. There's a few of them. I found one.
Wow.
That was one of the few I had to buy online through eBay. So, and the Saints one in black, they wore it in preseason and never wore it in the regular season. It didn't register it with the NFL. So,
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 on a football Friday.
Football Friday.
And that means Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com, 800-400-9741. You can see Lee, by the way, if you decide to take in the show, twitch.tv/Miller and Moulton, or on YouTube. He's got a new studio this year. All right. It looks better, sounds better. He's looking good. He showered this morning, shaved, hair slicked back. You ready?
I am ready. I'm ready to go. Interesting.
We had a young
about
Pat
these
Riley
lines.
on the show today, Lee.
Say it again.
Thought we had a young Pat Riley on the show today.
Well, funny you bring that up. So when my wife first met me, I parted my hair on the side. So I also did that, and I would slick it back and put some hairspray on it. So told her one time, so how many women get to date Jimmy Johnson and Pat Riley all in one? So that was my running joke. Not too good.
I was going to say, and she said, I'm sorry. Okay, I've seen your checkbook. Okay, you bear no resemblance to that. You're doing okay, but you ain't JJ and Pat Riley. Lane Kiffin, he'll be coaching one of these two teams next year.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but he's coaching Ole Miss tomorrow against the Gators. It's 10.5, last home game of the year for the Rebels.
So he's playing for dollar signs right now at the end of his contract. If he lays one on Florida, I think he is, he might be the first $15 million coach. So just saying, if he goes to Florida, that's the kind of price tag. Might be $14-15 million they have to pony up. But I think he's going to stay. I really do. I think he's happy and he's found peace there. And he right now has it going on here. Needs a little bit better defense, but I don't think DJ Lagway, the way he's playing, is going to pose too much of a threat. Awful. And by the end of the third quarter, they were without their top 4 receivers. Makes it tough on any quarterback with guys that are third and fourth string. So Florida's third straight game away from home, non-home game if you count Georgia. Ole Miss is off of a bye here. All they got to do, Ole Miss, win this game, and Mississippi State in their end, and he plays for his first college football championship. So I like Lane. The Lane train, we're riding it here, 40-17.
All right, the Canes, look at they're going to need some things to break their way to make the playoff, but they can't pull a Miami. We used to say Clemsoning. It's now pull a Miami because they seem to do it every damn year.
Right.
NC State beat Georgia Tech. I don't think they're very good. Miami a little over a 2-touchdown favorite, Lee.
No, their 2 linebackers make a lot of tackles because defensive line is so bad. They're chasing guys all over the field. Just don't have a lot of playmakers. CJ Bailey's good, from Hollywood Chaminade, played with all those stars there. And, he has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Miami came and talked to him late, but he was already going to NC State from what we hear. So I think Miami's going to score here, but still without, their best running back, second best receiver, and Daniels for this game here. I think they win the game 41-28. I'll take NC State in the points here. I just think it's too much.
It is the last home game for the Canes. Also, they finish at Vatek and Pitt. So, okay, NC State with a cover. All right, let's go to Sunday. We'll start early. Dolphins in Spain. Who'd have thunk? 2-3 weeks, months ago, the Dolphins would be a 2.5-point favorite against the Commanders, but no Daniels. Miami, 2.5-point favorite. What do you think?
Washington's defense is atrocious. They're allowing 35.8 points per game. Miami's defense, not great, 26.4 points per game, but improving. I think that they feel pretty good about this game here. So looking at Miami's 21 personnel, fullback and tailback, A-Chain, right now, this is their best grouping. And Washington can't stop anyone. Just think that Washington, Marcus Mariota is pretty good, actually, moves between the 20s real well. But after they run out of that play sheet, the top 15, 20 plays, they just that's where they have real problems here. No running game also, and no Terry McLaurin. He's out for this game. I like Miami. Sometimes you got to lay it, even with the Dolphins, 31-24.
All right. I think this next game is such a monster game for Jacksonville. After the way that they lost last week, I think it's more than their season. I think it's the future of Trevor Lawrence, and I don't have faith in him. I'm curious what you think. This game's 3, 2.5. The last I saw it, Chargers on the road, a 2.5-point favorite over Jacksonville. What do you say on this one, Lee?
Well, you got to give the Chargers coaching staff certainly the edge. This is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. So the Chargers won by double digits on Sunday night. All 5 starting offensive linemen graded last or second to last in Pro Football Focus. Never seen that happen before in a week in the NFL. So, I mean, just shows you the scheme, the coaching is excellent here. Jacksonville offense spends a lot of time on the field. Number 4, time of possession, 2 in total plays, but they're 25th here in yards per play. So they just got to come up with some better plays here in the red zone. Got to pick a side. Not a game I love either way, but I'm going to go with Jacksonville. I think maybe special teams also is the difference here. Jags pull it off. Won't be pretty, though. 23-20.
Trevor has played well against Justin Herbert for what it is worth. By the way, that could not just be an indictment of the banged-up Chargers offensive line. It could be an indictment of Pro Football Focus. We could have that discussion for another day.
Right.
All right. Finally, Bills, Bucks, bigger game for the home team, and they're a 5.5-point favorite.
So what did Miami do to exploit Buffalo's defense? They did the zone blocking off tackle play time and time again, and Buffalo couldn't stop it. Tampa Bay loved to run it, but Bucky Irvin gone for this game here. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, good as Baker's been, tough to do it without those 3 guys here. Bucks scoring differential just plus 14 on the year. It's an average of 1.5 points per game. Bills, even after that loss, plus 51 when they win, 5.6 here. Just think it's going to be too tough for Baker here. I know how great Todd Bowles has been, 13-6 against the spread on the road here, but I like Buffalo. NFL stands for not for long here. Rarely do you see Josh Allen have 2 bad games in a row. Bounce back for Buffalo, 28-20.
And finally, your game of the week, it's Florida State and Virginia Tech. And let's be honest, if you're not betting the game, why would you watch the game? Lee, how do they get it?
Yeah, just like last night. I passed last night, and a couple of my clients like, well, which way are we going? I'm like, it's going to be right near the spread. Let's just play some player props. How about this? They want to get the game for free. I do think there's a right side to this game. 800-400, 9741. FSU and Virginia Tech. Lines 14. Not enough or too high. 800-400-9741. Been on a roll. The NFL on a 31-9 run last 8 weeks in the NFL. Lee's NFL Sunday golden ticket, $197. 5 selections every week for 4 weeks are ready to go now. So you can get the best line. You don't have to call back on Saturday or Sunday. $197 for that. Also, huge UFC card from Madison Square Garden. 6 selections, $55, including a 50-unit max wager there on one of the feature fights. So check it out. Just one place, ParamountSports.com.
800-400-9741, ParamountSports.com. He's taking Ole Miss and laying the 10.5 against the Gators. He'll take NC State in the 14.5. Thinks that's just a touch too much. He'll take Miami and lay the 2.5. He'll take the Jags at home with the 2.5. And he thinks the Bills bounce back and cover against the Bucs. His game of the week, the Noles and the Hokies. By the way, last home game of the year for Florida State. Is it the last time they see Mike Norvell?
It better be.
Tallahassee. ParamountSports.com, 800-400-9741. He's Lee Sterling. You can follow him on X at Paramount Sports. Lee, all the best. Trying to have the Jimmy Johnson and Pat Riley bank account. Okay. But you've done something right because you've been married like 30 plus years, right?
32.
There you go.
As my father said, someone asked him one time, how many years you've been married to my mother at the time, Nancy? He says, married 54, happily married 6.
Wow.
Ouch. Ouch.
Wow. I asked the guy one time how long you've been married. He said 35 years, 30 good ones. I'm like,
Wow.
okay.
That's pretty good. I
That's-
take those numbers.
Oh.
Great. I'm
All
up
right,
there
Lee.
too. I got a good one. I outkicked my coverage.
I was going to say, Lee, that's not a good TD to interception ratio for your dad. I got to be honest. Okay, 54 to 6
joking.
is not good.
He was joking.
Lee Sterling,
All right.
ParamountSports.com. Lee, have a great weekend.
You too, guys. Take care. Be safe.
Lee joins us every Friday. He has joined us weekly for, 20 years because he used to join me when I was solo and Mark when he was solo. And then we teamed up.
We've
All
had
right.
Lee on board for a long time. Looking forward, David, to the Lee Sterling Christmas gift.
Right.
Will we get a workout towel or kitchen tools? You pick. Always. I love it. Lee always sends gifts to all of his stations every year.
Yep.
And he's always got the Paramount Sports. He goes somewhere where he can get his Paramount Sports logo on them. Love when it arrives at the door.
I still have 2 red gym bags. I put my radio equipment in it when I go on the road.
The only one I have left is the workout towel. That's the only one that's lasted for me. The bag, it was a good bag.
Yeah.
It's a good little bag, but it bit the dust at some point. But Lee's still going strong. Miller and Moulton, on the other hand, are being mocked in the Twitch chat room.
Can't blame them.
One listener said, if a pitcher told Miller and Moulton he was going to throw a ball for the first pitch, it would still go down the middle for a strike.
Right.
Another said we are the Miami Dolphins of making picks.
That's fair enough. We resemble that remark.
It hurts, but we have no rebuttal.
No.
None whatsoever. You want to throw shots? The Pelican Roofing of text line is always open. 21,000 the number, the keyword is Miller. 21,000 the number, the keyword Miller. Pick sure to go wrong. That's next. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com, capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise. On 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
All right, I have two potential poll questions today. One is off of what Feinbaum said yesterday, where he said a group of 5 team doesn't belong in the playoff. It's like putting a AAA team in the Major League Baseball playoffs. Do you think a group of 6 teams should be in the college football playoff? As simple as that.
Okay.
And it's National Pickle Day. Do you like pickles?
I like it. Well, the word is you're not going to have to suffer with him for much longer.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
20 minutes past the hour, Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Pat Kirwan to join us in about 40 minutes to go through the NFL slate. And what a good one it is. It's a decent college slate. There are a lot of just can't screw it up this week games. Teams in contention for or very much in the playoff who, if they can just take care of business this week, don't get tripped up, they'll be okay. And then there's a few headliners. Speaking of headlines, Miller and Moulton's picks. Mark Miller's 9 games under 500. I'm 19.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh.
So there you have it. So go the other way. We're going to give you plenty of opportunities here. Between the two of us, we'll make 14 picks, and we have no idea how many of them are the same. I will say this. We've been pretty good. We've been winning on the games that we both like this year. So go the other way on all the other picks. But if there's one or two we agree on, you may want to either hold off or, well, make our picks too.
I do love that David, who started with, 6 or 7 picks a week, then he jumped to 8. And because he was going 4-4,
right,
not a winning record, just not a losing record, he stuck with 8. When that failed him, did he reduce his number of picks?
No.
Hell no.
No.
He went to 9, and he's promising us 9 today.
Right. Went 5-3, 4-4, 4-4, 2-6. So I said, well, I need to make more picks.
Get after it. What do you got?
For college, I agree with Lee. I think Lane with a beatdown on the Gators. I don't think there's a whole lot of heart and pride. And I don't think if there is any, you'll see it this week. I think you may see it at home against Tennessee and Florida State, but I don't think you'll see it this week at Ole Miss. Here's another thing, and I know teams change in some cases radically year to year. Florida knocked Ole Miss out of the playoff last year. Those that return will remember. And you know who returns? Lane Kiffin. Give me the Rebels and lay the 10.5. I love the fact that Bama played a C+ game last week. Love it. Because they're going to play better this week, particularly on offense. They'll finish some drives, even against that Oklahoma defense. I like Bama laying only 5.5 at home against Oklahoma. BYU will bounce back. They're men, okay, except for the quarterback. He's still a kid, all right? But the team will bounce back. TCU is not a good road team. BYU at home, and I only have to lay 4.5. And I like Louisville tonight. Jeff Brom is a tremendous play caller, and he is great in key big games. And Clemson may not be a good team this year, but in that conference, they're still the measuring stick. I like Louisville to win at home tonight. Small line, 2.5. NFL, I'm on the Chargers. Would love to be on the Jags. I just don't trust them after last week. I'm on the Bucks. 5.5 is a lot, even when they lose. They very rarely lose by 6 or more. Give me the Bucks. I'm on Jameis and the Giants. I think he'll provide a spark, and the Packers right now are struggling to score points. I like the Giants. I actually think the Giants are a live play this week. Give me the Falcons. I know they've lost 3 in a row. The last 2 have been heartbreakers, but they're playing pretty well. Although Penix's comments this week were strange. I have no support from the sidelines. I turned to my former high school and college coaches for support. What? Give me Atlanta, though, at home, -3.5 against Carolina. And Purdy is back, which actually concerns me. But San Francisco's better in Arizona, and they need it. Give me the Niners and lay the 2.5 against the Cardinals.
All right. I did not put any thought whatsoever into these picks. This is a theme. It's a simple theme. My son had his appendix out this week. He's doing fine. Thank you for all people that reached out and asked. He's a little sore. He'll be fine. His biggest takeaway from all of this is he has no idea how Marvin Harrison Jr. will play in the next couple of weeks because he had the same procedure done on the same day that my son did. And my son's like, if he plays in 2 weeks, I don't get it. He was, because I'm sore. But I literally went with the teams that my kid loves or the team that my kid hates. He's an ECU grad. I'm taking the Pirates and laying the 2.5 at home against Memphis. This is the biggest game ECU's played at home in a long, long time. They're still alive to play in the American playoff or in the American championship game. They need a few things to break their way, but they've got to win this game. He was born a Georgia fan. There's just no 2 ways about it. So I'm going to take the Dogs and lay the 6.5 against Texas. He hates Florida because he loves the Dogs. So I'm taking Ole Miss and laying 11.5 with the Lane Train. Because of his love of the Dogs, his favorite NFL player is one Matthew Stafford. Give me the Rams and lay the 3.5 against Seattle. And somehow, some way, and it's not really my ex-wife. I think it was started with Hines Ward there, and then a few other Bulldogs ended up in Pittsburgh. He's got a soft spot for the Steelers. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh and lay the 4.5 against Cincinnati. No thought whatsoever. Just pulling for the kid to feel a little better. So I'm going with his teams. Footnote, he has his own podcast. He sucks as much as Miller and Moulton in picking games. So this could completely backfire on me. Just 5, though, David. Just 5.
Well, no, you're disciplined. Okay.
I'll go 2-3, 3-2. That's pretty much what's happened. There have been a couple of 1-4s, unfortunately, but for the most part, it's been 3-2, 2-3, 2-3, 2-3, 3-2. That's how this year's gone for me.
So the only one we agree upon is we're taking Ole Miss and we're laying the points.
All 3 of us are on the Lane Train.
I have to admit, that line must have jumped this morning because I looked at it 2 hours ago. It was 10.5, and you have 11.5, which doesn't surprise me. I think we're all riding the Lane Train, but that tells me that the money is really coming in on the Rebels.
Yeah, 11.5 is what I've got it at, so I don't know what to tell you.
So, all right, there you go. By the way, Mark's had a few winning weeks. I've had one. Yeah,
what, really? You've had 1 winning week all year?
5-3. That was it.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
We have more poll questions than David has winning weeks this year.
Right.
And we did yesterday with who did you want to pitch in your team for the next 3 years? Skeens getting 80% of the vote over Scooble. It was National Dream Destination Day. We gave you 4 dream sports destinations. The Final Four, the Derby, the Super Bowl, and the Masters. Shocking development. The Masters wins with 47%. And then we did some non-annual events, the Summer Olympics, the Winter Olympics, the Ryder Cup, and the World Cup. The World Cup was the winner. Winter Olympics second. Today, 2 poll questions. Paul Feinbaum yesterday on one of the shows he's on complained that group of 6 teams get in the playoff. Said that's like putting a AAA team in the Major League Baseball playoffs. There's a valid point there. I think they deserve to go. You may not. So does a group of 6 team deserve to be in the college football playoff? Yes or no? Very simple. And it's National Pickle Day, David. Do you like pickles? I love pickles. Big fan. Little ticked off last night. Made burgers. It was burger night at the house. I like mustard, ketchup, pickles, and onions on my burger. You know what we didn't have? We didn't have any damn pickles. Wife said she told me that we were out of pickles. I didn't recall it. I just have to lean on the wife being right and me being wrong. So we went with no pickles on the burger. It was still pretty good. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, to vote on today's poll question. Thanks for listening. Football season is back, and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell him Miller and Moulton sent you.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com.
At the Diamond District, we know what you want.
Experience wall-to-wall diamonds during our Diamond event, November 21st through 23rd.
This is our biggest event of the year, featuring an expanded collection of GIA certified diamonds, designer jewelry, and exclusive collections from Tacori.
This is the perfect time to start your holiday shopping.
More diamonds, more choices. November 21st through 23rd, only at the Diamond District.
At the Diamond District.
This is Miller and Moulton.
JDR Blue, what are Wicker's pickles? Is that a certain certain brand? Yeah, Johnny Mac, it is, man. It's solid. It's really good. I get all of my lines off of the Score app. That's what we use every week. Lines vary from place to place. It's 11.5 on the Score app. I understand there are many places to get lines. We've used the same app for our lines for at least 5 years. I've never seen them, Deadstroke. That's why I asked. I know Mount Olive pickles. I know Vlasic, I know there's a couple in is it Clausen? My wife likes those, but they're already speared, and I don't like soggy pickles. All right, they have them in Publix. I've not paid attention to a Wickles pickle.
A Wickles pickle?
Correct.
Well, Empire, I'm assuming you're talking about the Ole Miss Florida game. At 5:10 a.m., it was 10.5.
And like I told both of them, I use the Score app. That's where I get our numbers. I've been doing that app. That's what we've used for 5 years on this show. David uses the former ESPN bet lines.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes till Pat Kirwan joins us at the top of the hour here on Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. We'll get to our college picks on the big games coming up in just a moment. Mark, there is something that we didn't get into earlier in the show. I just want to spend 3 to 5 minutes right now. So they handed out MVPs in baseball yesterday.
Right.
Ohtani won his 4th in 5 years unanimously. And Judge beat out Cal Raleigh. 30 people had votes. One writer in every city, I believe. Okay, or maybe it's 2 writers in every American League city. I think that's it. Judge got 17 first place votes. Raleigh got 13. Judge got 13 second place votes. Raleigh got 17. So it was split evenly, first or second.
Right. There wasn't some idiot that decided to put another guy in just to screw the thing up.
Right. So Judge won 17-13 in terms of the MVP. And, you and I would have gone Raleigh, but they
We
went
thought Judge was going to win.
We did. We thought Judge would win. He had over 50 homers and won the batting title and had the best WAR and the OPS and all that.
And all the analytics that baseball people
Right.
now adore, he was clearly the better player when you put the analytic factors into play. It wasn't close.
Right. So analytics loved him by a sizable margin. I think analytics had him like worth 3 more wins than Raleigh. I think it was like 11 and change to 8 and change this year. And if you hear what WAR is wins above replacement, meaning basically if an average player is 0, okay, then how many more wins are you worth? Tell you what, if that's the case, I mean, take Judge off the Yankees and he gets replaced by a replacement level player. They go from 94 wins to like 83. Sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. In fact, it almost sounds like the WAR wasn't high enough, Judge, the way he carried that team through stretches this year.
So there you have it. Ohtani, 4th MVP in 5 years. I believe only Bonds in the modern era has more. He had 7, and he probably should have had more, but that's a whole other story. And for Judge, is that number 3?
It is.
And it's back-to-back, right?
Yep.
So there you go.
3rd and 4 years for Judge.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit up here and complain that he got it. I thought he was going to get it.
Yeah, we both did.
The analytics have taken over the sport. He was when analytics were in play, make no mistake, it wasn't close. It wasn't close.
And he is the best player in the American League. And you could argue he's the best player in baseball. I mean, there are some that would say it's Ohtani because, oh, by the way, he also pitches. But, I mean, he's still the best player. We said it all along. To us, this was a Jordan MVP type vote. Okay? Was Jordan the best player for an 8 to 10 year stretch? Of course he was. Of course he was. Did he win the MVP every one of those years? No. They gave it to Barkley one year. They gave it to Karl Malone one year. Okay? Who was the best player in the league? It was Jordan. Who's the best player in the American League? It's Aaron Judge. And he did have a monster year. We just thought the catcher position, 60 homers as a switch hitter and leading a team that doesn't normally win to their first division title in 24 years. We, Miller and Moulton, were going to go Charles Barkley, Karl Malone on Aaron Judge. We were.
And winning the division was big for us. That was the key part of it. And not, because the Yankees made the playoffs and not taking anything away from Judge there, but Seattle was an uncharted territory. He caught every game for the most part. He was terrific behind the plate. David and I look at the catcher position maybe a little differently than other baseball people do. We still feel that it's incredibly important. He's the guy running the team from the field, and there's a little extra something there for the two of us. Maybe because we were two kids that played catcher growing up. I think it might have had a little bit to do with it.
Could be. And you know what? Maybe we just like the nickname too. I mean, come on. He's now the big dumper. I mean, I don't know. We just, for 1 year, we're like, listen, if Judge could do what he did this year and do it next year and win another, push came to shove. We were going with Raleigh. It was, I have to admit, it was a closer vote than I thought it would be. It was. I mean, if you think about it, if two guys change their votes and go Raleigh, it ends up tied. They're co-MVPs.
It's funny, David. Yesterday, after I picked my daughter up, I swore. I said hell. And I said, I'm sorry. And she goes, that's kind of the word. She's in 6th grade. So that's kind of the word that kids say. And because my daughter, she knows she'd get in huge trouble from her mother if a curse word came out of her mouth. Her dad would probably laugh. And I joked because she goes to a Catholic school. I said, well, it's in the Bible. I go, and for that matter, so's ass, but they're talking about a donkey. And she goes, I always think of butt when someone says that. So we drove down the road and I was giving her all the different words for butt. And I said, and of course you have the dumper and the big dumper. And she just laughed the whole ride home as we did that. All right, back to football. We paused from this regularly scheduled programming to give you some baseball talk, and now back to more football.
Let me ask you a question. When's the last time you can recall a team that was bad at the line of scrimmage offensively beating Georgia? I think there was a South Carolina game like 5 years ago, and it was very low scoring, and I thought the Gamecocks upset them, like 10-6 or something like that. But, I mean, Mark, how many times is a team that's weak up front offensively competitive with Georgia, never mind beating them, for all the strength that Texas has on defense? Their defensive line is legit. This could be a low-scoring game. But it's just difficult for me to see Texas without a defensive score, a special team score. Up front, they're going to get their butt kicked. Then how do you win?
Well, to me, they would have to do something that I don't think do very well either. The way to get to Georgia, and Kirby's always had great D-backs and all of those things. That secondary is vulnerable. You can score on the Dogs. Look what Lane did to the Dogs. And look, Lane offensively is a great coach.
Yeah.
But so Sark.
Yeah, he's very good. Yes.
Good play caller.
Yes, he is.
So what can he dial up? There's two things that, and look, I made some heart bets with my picks this week, but when I look at Texas, I look at a couple of things. One, Florida was able to run the ball pretty well on Georgia. Florida's not known for having a really good offensive line this year, and Florida ran the ball effectively. So I think Sark's got to pull one out of his, out of his tuchus to have some interesting play calling, to scheme some guys open, to challenge Georgia deep early. And if you connect on one or two, then maybe the run game can open up. But I know, Georgia, the one thing about the Dogs, I don't think Gunnar Stockton gets nearly the credit he deserves. We talk about the kid at Vandy, and we talk about some of these other guys that are good Saturday quarterbacks. Gunnar Stockton's a really good Saturday quarterback. He is, David. He makes big throws. He's not afraid to get yards with his feet. So I think the Gunnar Stockton factor is something that's not talked about enough. There are other guys that I'm not saying he should get a Heisman. I don't think he's playing on Sunday. He's going to own Gunnar Stockton Ford in the little town he's from while he goes hunting for alligators. That's all that's going to happen. Or Gunnar Stockton State Farm Agency. One of those two things is the future before maybe he gets a job as a color commentator for the University of Georgia radio network. But I think he's an underappreciated college quarterback, David.
Fair enough. I think that Ole Miss's offensive line and quarterback are better than Texas's offensive line and quarterback. I think Ole Miss's offensive line and Florida's offensive line comparable. But Lane, obviously, far more gifted play caller. So, if we're doing the Ole Miss comparison, and yes, Ole Miss for 3+ quarters at Georgia, I mean, he coached circles around Kirby. He had Kirby totally off balance. And then in the last 10, 12 minutes of the game, Georgia just had more talent, and Ole Miss was worn out. Mark, the significance of this game cannot be understated. First off, if Georgia wins, they're in the playoff.
Even if they lose to Tech, by the way.
Right. But if they lose this game and lose to Georgia Tech, they're 9-3. Number one. Number two, if they lose this game, even if Texas beats Arkansas and loses to A&M, Georgia and Texas would be tied in the SEC standings with Texas having the tiebreaker. Why is that important? Let's just give Texas a win. We have A&M and Bama playing in the title game. Ole Miss runs the table. They're the third team. Vandy, Texas, and Georgia could theoretically, if they all, Texas wins this week and then everybody wins out, they're all tied for fourth. Who you picking? No one's going to pick Vandy over Texas or Georgia. So it comes down to Texas or Georgia for the fourth spot. Yeah, Georgia might be 10-2 and Texas might be 9-3. But look at who Texas played. Now, yeah, you can do the whole Texas lost to Florida and Georgia beat Florida. Yeah, but come on, head-to-head. Head-to-head. How is that not significant here? And besides, you look at Georgia's non-conference schedule. Did they go to Ohio State week 1? I mean, I'm telling you the significance of this game. If you're Texas and you're going to split with Georgia or A&M, this is the one you want.
Saturday night, ABC, 7:30. All right. Oklahoma and Alabama. Alabama, 5.5-point favorite. Oklahoma starting to look a little bit more like the team they were earlier in the season. Tier's playing better now. You know, he's not the injured quarterback that he was when he played Texas. But I don't know. You know, the Oklahoma defense is flat out legit. Every part of it.
Yep.
Yards, passing yards, rushing yards, points,
Yep.
third downs. I mean, they are terrific.
Yep.
There's not a part of that defense that's not just flat out terrific. But I don't know if they've seen a passing game like they're going to see from Bama.
Well, Tennessee had them on the ropes, and as the late Denny Green said, and let them off the hook. Oklahoma was scrambling for a quarter and a half in Knoxville, and then Oklahoma got the defensive touchdown, and the big fella rumbling, bumbling down the sidelines, and that changed everything. And that brought Tennessee's offense kind of down a notch. But Tennessee went up and down the field for a quarter and a half. And I got to think that DeBoer and the Alabama offense with their quarterback and their receivers looked at that and said, we can do that. And I'll say it again. Love the fact that Alabama did not play well last week. Love it. Love it. They're going to play much better this game. And think about it. If Alabama wins, by the way, they're in the playoff. And if you're going, well, in theory, they lose this game. They can lose, to Auburn on the Plains. They can. Don't think they can't. Okay, I'm just saying, they win this week, they're in the playoff. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. In fact, if they win this week, I think they're in the SEC title game, even if they were to lose to Auburn.
How much of a shot are you giving Pittsburgh against Notre Dame at home? You were so high on Pittsburgh in August, and then they let you down early. Then you did two things. I don't know if you gave up on Pittsburgh, but you certainly quit betting on them.
I did, because the West Virginia loss just absolutely freaked me out. But they changed quarterbacks after that loss. I think Pitt's got a puncher's chance, and not just because I thought they were going to be a salty team this year. I think they'll score 30. I do, even against Notre Dame. I think they're going to score at least 27, if not 31 or more. And to me, that'll keep them in the game.
But now, Notre Dame scores 40 on damn near everybody.
They do. I mean, Mark, Pitt needs to steal a possession. And ideally, they need to steal a possession with a score. I mean, there's a reason Notre Dame's like a 12-point favorite in this game. I think the game's a little closer than that. But Pitt's got to steal. They got to steal a touchdown in this game somehow, some way to win it. But I think they can take Notre Dame into the fourth quarter, kind of like USC did. High scoring, everybody moved the ball, and then in the fourth quarter, Notre Dame just wore them out.
Yeah, I don't think there's any team that runs the football quite like Notre Dame, and I think Notre Dame's going to run it right down their throat for 60 minutes. I think they are just going to run it down their throat.
Yep, best running back tandem in the sport. I thought at the beginning of the year it was the two guys who came back at Penn State. Without question, it's the Notre Dame running game, and those backs are tremendous. Pat Kirwan, NFL talk next.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise. On 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it
Mark
real.
Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
The
sound.
2025 Industry Appreciation Awards in Fort Myers have wrapped up, but the celebration of business excellence continues, hosted by the Lee County Economic Development Office, Horizon Council, and Horizon Foundation. This annual event honors the innovators, job creators, and community builders driving the region forward. Visit industryappreciationawards.com to see this year's winners and learn how local businesses are shaping a stronger, more resilient economy for Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Good morning, Pat.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, you got good golf weather today.
Oh, man, it was great on Wednesday.
Yeah, I bet it was.
It was great Wednesday. It'll be great again today. This is doesn't get any better than this.
Nope, this is San Diego weather.
Yep. You got that right. We my wife had been begging for it, and we found a company and had it like a retractable screen door made for our front door, because the front doors here don't have screens on them.
Yep.
So we can finally open the whole house up, open the pool area up, and have the front door screen. It's I'm just looking forward to all weekend being able to wake up and open the whole damn house up.
You weren't kidding. I was doing the same thing, and I said, fresh air is better than air conditioning. Nope, all good. Heading to Denver tomorrow. It's supposed to be nice out there. It said 65 for the game and sunny. No clouds, so that'll be good. We don't talk about altitude anymore, but it's a real thing. When we used to play those guys, it was real clear to me why Elway had all those comebacks. Nobody could rush the passer at altitude. Our guys would just stand there. They couldn't do anything. They were just hyperventilating. It never comes up anymore like it went away. It did not go away. Well, maybe it went away for the Colorado Buffaloes. Those guys.
Yeah.
They got a rude awakening to reality.
No, Aurora.
Aurora, there is something going on with YouTube where there are two different streams running. You may be in the wrong stream, unfortunately, and I don't know how to fix it. I think I'm going to have to log us on and do something different. But I don't know what they asked us to do something differently, and David went with what they recommended. And because of that, it now is delivering two separate streams. Yes. One that I think is for people on their phones, another that I believe is for people who are watching on their computers. And we were just doing one. So I don't know how to fix it. I am going to have to investigate over the weekend.
Yeah, it was weird when I tried to set up the streams on Monday. It told me I had to set up, and they recommended with YouTube, click this. So I went with it. And yes, it's the 2 streams. Meanwhile, for Twitch, it was only one thing they recommended. So I clicked on it and we just have the 1 stream on Twitch.
I don't know how to stop it, so I will try.
Yeah, it's weird because I had never seen it before, and I haven't seen it Tuesday through Friday mornings when I've tried to sign on either. So,
Pat, are you down here right now?
Yes.
Do you have a direct to Denver?
Yes, I do.
Oh, good.
8 o'clock in United.
Okay, good.
Tomorrow morning?
Yep, 1 a day. And probably, that and the chaos at Newark. Why would I was going to fly back and then go
right.
to my grandson's
This
game.
airport, see, we've not heard, I'm not saying there aren't problems here, but we're not hearing about them the way there are other spots in the country. Certainly not in the New York area.
Yeah, it's taking off from here appears to be easy. Landing here is always a combination of where you're coming from, which Newark is terrible. But hopefully it clears up.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Halfway home on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Well, we're halfway home in Jacksonville, Tampa, St. Pete, and Fort Myers, Naples. Final hour of the show in the week in Port Charlotte and Venice, Live Oak and Lake City. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Couple of poll questions out there. One is, do you think a group of 6 teams should even be allowed to be in the college football playoff? And it's National Pickle Day. Do you like pickles? Those are our 2 questions. But now let's get to the meat and potatoes of the show. Pat Kirwan, NFL Radio Moving the Chains, weekdays 3 to 7, Saturdays 2 to 5, and then Sundays, he's with CBS and the NFL Today Show, which will be in Denver Sunday for Chiefs and Broncos. Pat joining us once again, courtesy of Pinchers. It's holiday season. Don't forget about gift cards. You can order them online. But Pinchers, from Tampa to Key West and all points in between, Pinchers, where you can't fake fresh. So are the Broncos ready, Pat? Are they ready? Because this would take the division title most likely away from the Chiefs, and no one has done that since Peyton and the Broncos 10 years ago.
I don't know that you can be totally ready for that because I've witnessed personally on the field multiple times now, Kansas City, led by their head coach Spags and Mahomes, they do know how to turn it up a notch. And their ability to focus in a different level in very important games. Now, they have their crutch, which is offensive tackles. We've seen them lose 2 Super Bowls, and I witnessed them losing to Buffalo for the same reason. That reason is still there against a terrific defense that rushes the passer, but I have a hard time. There's 4 gigantic games this week, and this is one of them, and we're going there. And when you look at them, it's very hard for me to come off Kansas City, to come off the Rams for the new guys, Seattle, to come off Buffalo, and to come off Philadelphia. I want to, but I think the teams that I just mentioned all seem to know how to play up a level when they have to, most of the time. So I think this game that we have, I think Denver is going to have a hard time for a lot of football reasons, like their offense can't score. And go look at what they're doing for the last 3 weeks, which is the most current information. They're averaging 15 points a game. Meanwhile, my man Spags has got the defense over there averaging 13 points a game for 4 weeks. So we all love talking about Denver's terrific defense, but the last month of Kansas City defense has been pretty darn good. So I'm taking Kansas City. Not ready to knock the guys off the top of the mountain.
When and I guess it would probably be this week, Pat, but when will we start giving Denver credit for winning all of these close games? And I know the pedigree of Mahomes, but we spent all of last year singing the praises of a Chiefs team that we didn't think was very good, but man, they won every close game. And Patrick Mahomes, well, he's the reason. I don't know if Nick's is the reason, but he's had some great fourth quarters. Does he have to win this week to start getting credit for these close games?
Sure, because they won 3 games this year where they scored 13 against the Jets, I think 18 against Houston, and 10 against the Raiders, and won all 3. That's not even a real world reality. When you score 13, 18, and 10, you're supposed to lose at least one of those, maybe 2 of them, or certainly all of them. But their defense was able to stop the opponent, and I think David and I and you and Mark, we've said it. How many teams can win with defense if the offense doesn't show up? Well, Denver's a great example of that. Their offense has not shown up 3 times, and their defense won the game anyway. This is not a normal team. If you think you're going to score 14 points and beat Kansas City, you're wrong.
Where's the matchup edge for Denver when they have the ball on offense? That's what I'm curious about, because I have criticized them for not going out and getting more weapons, and I think it's for games like this. I'm trying to figure out, Sean's great, and they'll have great scheme, and maybe the first 15, 20 plays, Spags will have to adjust. But in the second half, I'm trying to figure out, how is Denver going to move the ball?
Well, I think you'd agree with this. I think there's not a great answer to your question, but the question might become, can the defense score? That would be where I think they're going to need a defensive touchdown to offset an offense that's probably good for 14 points. And they get to 21 with a defensive score, then all of a sudden they might be in a great position. So that's where I think would have to come from. You guys might disagree, but I'm not going to make believe the offense can generate a lot, because I don't think they can, and they haven't. Bo Nix has not played great lately. You guys all said it. So is the defense capable of giving me a touchdown? That I think is what would have to happen for them to win.
All right, let's move on to some other games. We'll stick in the 4 o'clock window because this is another big one. The Rams and the Seahawks. They obviously play one more time after this, so it doesn't necessarily tell you who the 1 seed's going to be. But Seattle has been terrific. That defense has been excellent. I love them at the line of scrimmage. Sam Darnold's playing terrifically. But no one's playing the quarterback position better than Matthew Stafford right now. What he is doing with McVay is something he's never done in his career. I mean, throwing all kinds of touchdowns, 2 interceptions all year. They're back. The last one was in week 2. When you look at this game, is there a big edge one way or another?
Oh, but no, both teams, maybe experience, real experience, which Stafford obviously has. And Sam is in the middle of trying to develop it. But Sam could wake up in the middle of the night Saturday and remember what happened to him when he played the Rams the last time. And I know you guys have covered it. It wasn't just 9 sacks. It was 12 more hits on the quarterback. Yes, it was a different team, but it was the same quarterback, and they certainly had a feel for his launch point. You don't get 9 sacks and 12 hits unless you know where he's throwing from. Sam's playing very well, and I asked Mike McDonald about that, and he said he's clearly throwing the ball faster than he has. And it's, 2.5 seconds, which is always tough to sack a guy. But I do think the reality that the Ram defense knows how to get to this guy, and I think they understand the kind of coverages that make him hold the ball. So I do think experience counts in this one. I'd love Sam to win this and get the ghost out of the closet. But the 3 of us know, if he loses this game and throws 2 picks, the storyline is going to be same old Sam, the same thing they did to him in Minnesota. And I don't want that to happen because he's not the same old Sam. But I think playing the Rams, it's not so much home field. Seattle will bring a bunch of people there. I just think that Stafford has an extra level of, and he won't panic. There's no way he's going to think, oh my God, here I go again. That's not what's going to happen to him, but it could happen to Sam Darnold. So I want to take the Seahawks, but I'm not going to.
Both teams with 4-game winning streak. Both teams are 7-2. By the way, you're right. Not only will Seattle travel well, but the Seahawks are unbeaten on the road this year. They're 4-0 on the road, 3-2 at home. All right. Do you think, by the way, the Rams really whacked the Niners last week? Okay. They struggle to beat them. They whacked them last week. Do you think that maybe tells the Rams that, hey, we're a different team than even we've been lately, and we've been good lately?
I think for the Rams, if they, or at least for McVay and those guys, they're looking at San Francisco having a hard time holding on for physical, medical reasons. They're kind of a shell of themselves. Now Purdy's going to come back. I'm sure they're excited about that, but I wonder how they feel if he gets off to a cold start, knowing that the guy on the bench has been winning a bunch of games for him. I just think they're not, it's really, I think you said it the other day, McCaffrey, it's him or nothing. What else scares you?
Nothing.
No.
Kittle a little bit, but it's McCaffrey.
It's 30 touches, and you have to overplay him. And if you overplay him and can minimize him and keep him to 100 total yards, that may not be enough offense for them to win. Now, they got Arizona this week, so they'll get through it. But I do think that the Rams and Seattle are starting to think it's a two-horse race.
All right. The Bears and the Vikings. This game fascinates me, Pat, because obviously if the Vikings win, it's a sweep. We know how hard that is to do inside the division. But the Bears, looking at their schedule the rest of the way, there's no schedule maker gives you a win games hardly left for the Bears. If they're going to make the playoffs, they're going to do it basically against playoff teams. When you look at this game, what is it you see? Where do you see an edge? Can Caleb Williams repeat what have been a couple of good games in a row?
Well, he's on a 4-game winning streak, and he is, in my opinion, hopefully yours, significantly getting better as this season goes on. He's not a guy that's stuck in space like Justin Fields. He's a guy that's making real progress. Is it as much progress as Drake May? Maybe not, but some are starting to believe it is. The coach has made a huge difference in him. He's kind of under control. Jim Miller's been very critical of Caleb, and he stopped it 3 weeks ago, and now he's actually praising him for things he can do. He's got 4 game-winning drives. Only Baker Mayfield had 4 game-winning drives to start the season. This guy's tied with him for the most in the league. So I give Caleb a lot of help. I'm surprised. This is right to you guys. I'm surprised that this game opened up as Minnesota being favored. They're a 4-5 team. Say whatever you want. And the turnover ratio is the worst of any game on the card. It's a 21-point swing. It's plus 14 Bears, minus 7 Minnesota. And yet, there's the Bears not favored. And then we can look at the number and say, well, 2.5 means they don't think this is a true home field advantage. I get all that, but I think the Bears right now, I don't really love their defense, but I think Caleb is capable of winning a game here. And I think McCarthy's finding out pro football takes a while to be good at.
I think that people, and when I say people, I mean Vegas, and we're under a minute till we have to break, are looking at the recent wins and seeing barely beat the Giants, barely beat the Bengals, okay, did beat the Saints, barely beat the Commanders, needed a late Washington fumble or else they would have lost that game, barely beat the Raiders. Pat, 10 seconds. I think that's why some people are still not bullish on the Bears.
Yeah, I might be one of them, but in this game situation, I'm kind of excited about their opportunity to step up. I like talking to their coach. I think that guy and the coach in Seattle, certainly Vrabel, those guys have figured out how to take these kind of young teams and be productive, and they don't drift into bad places.
More with Pat
Your
Kirwan
roof is
NFL.
your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This year during Thanksgiving week, Fort Myers takes the national stage, hosting not one but two elite women's college basketball tournaments, the Fort Myers Tip-Off and Coconut Hoops, both featuring Power 4 teams and nationally ranked programs. Few places in the country can showcase this level of talent. We're proud that Fort Myers is one of them. Don't miss your chance. For tickets, go to visitfortmyers.com/basketball. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
This is Miller and Moulton.
What's going on, boss?
You know
How's your
what?
daughter doing?
She's doing good. My son had it. My son had to get his appendix out 2 days ago. He texted me at 6 a.m. on the show, like 6:30. He goes, "I'm in the hospital. I have appendicitis." I'm like, "What?"
Oh man,
He's fine. He's home. He's strong. He'll get through it. But he said he left. He texted me yesterday. He's like, because I sent him a text that Marvin Harrison Jr. had the same thing done the same day. He texts me. He says, "All I know," during the show yesterday, he says, "All I know is if that guy plays in 2 weeks, I don't know how he's going to do it because I am so sore right now. It's unbelievable."
yeah. Well, better life through chemicals. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yep. It's amazing. I think the normal person on this planet, especially Americans, they really can't be guided by the medical decisions of players. The things
No.
they will do to play.
Not only the things they will do, but I don't think people have any clue of the pain threshold of an athlete.
Yeah, I know they don't. And unless you're getting off a plane at midnight after an away game on the West Coast and you're on the East Coast and watch, 50 some odd guys hobble off. There's a couple that are just spry and happy, but most of them, they're coming home from a battle. I hate to call it war, but it's the physicality is ridiculous.
No, I know the hockey world from pro hockey, and that's where I watch. I watch the Everblades of the world, minor league players that you see get hit and take shots in the foot, and they're hobbling around, and they're and then they just go play, and you just kind of look and go, it's just a different breed of human. It just is, and the normal person just can't understand that. Yeah. And yes, there's better life through chemicals. I get it that they have the ability to get some drugs that we don't, but still taking the drugs to get some of the pain to go away, knowing that when the drugs wear off and the game's done, how much they're going to hurt, and they still go do it. It's amazing to me sometimes.
I'll even add to that, because I think when you're sifting through, when they start as 10-year-olds and then they're 12s and 14, it's the guys that continue to think they can play even injured or suppress the pain. Like even one of my grandsons, like he had a broken clavicle, and he did it on a Friday of a 3-day tournament. He played the rest of the tournament, came home and was told you can't play for 2 months. But he was like, this thing hurts. But and,
No,
and
it
others
is
would
funny.
just not do it.
No, it's funny. I laugh because I don't care if my daughter's good at sports. I want her to be good at school. But she's had a couple of injuries, one in soccer, one in gymnastics, and she's a little timid from it. And there's no way to teach someone to not be timid from fear. You either are or you are not. That's all there is to it. Like, if I had my choice, I'd say you might as well quit gymnastics now because I know you're tough. I've seen you fall. I've seen what you can do. But if you can't get over the fear part, well, then you got no shot.
No, I have.
And it's horrible to say about an 11-year-old, but I just have been around sports too long. I can tell you right now, have fun, do what you're doing, but this isn't anything more than fun for a couple of years.
No, and I do think club sports and high school sports weed a lot of kids out. They fall to the wayside because they're normal. The ones that are not just keep going, and it leads all the way up to Ronnie Lott saying, "Cut my finger off. I got to play next week."
Well, and also I think I said it last week. I heard Steve Young on Dan Patrick, and he just said you don't have to love the sport in college to be great. If you're gonna make it in the NFL, you have to love football. Because if not, they'll figure it out and you won't make it.
Nope. That is the darn truth. Yeah, I used to spend a lot of time with Ronnie on the planes just because I was fascinated by his mindset. And of course he cut off part of his finger to play, and they had told him you need surgery and it'll be a couple of months of rehab or whatever. And he said, "Dad, just cut it off. We got a game next week." And he did. And the first day in our locker room, everyone was looking at him. And I said, "Ronnie, would you hold your finger up so everyone can see it for now? And that'll be that." And about 2 months later, he had a calcium deposit in his arm. He had some kind of crazy cigar thing. He was
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
Our remaining moments with Pat Kirwan from NFL Radio's Moving the Chains and CBS's NFL Today show. Pat joins us courtesy of Pinchers. PinchersUSA.com. You can get your Pinchers gift cards. PinchersUSA.com. And don't forget Tampa, the Key West, and a dozen locations in between. Pinchers, where you can't fake fresh.
Those gift cards, David, make a great holiday gift.
That's kind of why I've mentioned them around the holidays. All right, Sunday night, Lions and Eagles.
Yeah, excuse me for laughing. That was great. Lions and Eagles. Well, the Lions are getting healthy. I mean, to me, the story is what's up with the use and production of Saquon. You just compare him to the first 9 games last year, and it's revealing, to say the least. One, they don't give him the ball as much. He definitely is not running. He's at 3.8 a carry. Last year, at the exact same time, he's at 5.7 with more touchdowns. To me, I think when Saquon is minimized, I think it reveals a lot about Jalen. Jalen, remember, he didn't win the Super Bowl without Saquon. He got to one, but he didn't win it. I think Saquon has to be the ultimate threat in order for Jalen to be the best he can be and win games. So all this nonsense about Brown and then Brown's texting stuff out, that's just a little soap opera I don't care about. They got a very nice football team. Detroit, I want to take them. There's another. I'm a big fan of those guys. This is a big test for those guys. I think Philadelphia revs it up now and starts to make their push, and I think Saquon will have a pretty good game.
Well, since you don't want to get into the Brown thing, I'll avoid it. But I do think that
no, go ahead.
I don't think Sirianni or Hurts can go to AJ and tell him to shut up. I don't think he'll listen. Let me ask you, you've been in locker rooms, Pat. Is there a lineman, offensive or defensive lineman? Someone that's just a badass that can grab A.J. Brown and say enough. It stays in the room. Shut up.
I think Lane Johnson is one of those types of guys. I don't think the other tackle is, but I think Lane Johnson, who's playing past when he probably should have retired, but he's a rugged dude and very, very well respected. He's had his own issues in life, but I do think he can sit with AJ and say, "Come on, man, we're just trying to win another Super Bowl," and try to get him to think about it. But if he's built a wall between him and Jalen Hurts, I don't think a lineman or anyone else can knock the wall down.
I think Brandon Graham might be able to walk over from the other side and tell him to keep it together. I didn't come out of retirement for you to mess this up. Quick sidebar on Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson got injured. He didn't get hurt. He got injured Monday night. He was out. He was not coming back in the game. Green Bay scored. Philly was clinging to a 3-point lead. He hadn't played in 2 hours. He came off the bench and played right tackle, and they got 3 first downs. Okay. That is a warrior. That's a leader. That's what guys are in awe of, guys who do things like that. It was inspiring to watch Lane Johnson do that Monday night. All right. Are the Jags about to suffer what the Bears suffered last year, Pat, when they gave up the Hail Mary? That's our big fear, that the Jags blowing last week's game to Houston is going to be their Hail Mary.
I say this about the Jags. There's no chance they're going to hold up to make the playoffs. When you have guys like Lamar and Mahomes staring at the playoffs from behind, they're going to roll right past them. The question is, what 2 teams? One of them is Jacksonville. Who's the other team that's going to get knocked out in order to get those 2 guys back in it? I think the team that's going to get knocked out, I'd love to hear your thought, is Pittsburgh. I think Baltimore goes right to the top, wins the division, and Pittsburgh doesn't have enough wins to hold on for a wild card.
I would agree with that. I think that, right now we've got 5 of 7 that are already in. They're not going to change. I think Kansas City replaces Jacksonville. I don't think they'll win the division. They could, but I don't think that they will. And I think Baltimore wins the North at the end of the day. So, I'm with you, Pat. All right, we've not talked Bills and Bucks. When this is a big game for both. I think it's bigger for Buffalo, but if Tampa loses this, they got another tough one next week, and all of a sudden a Carolina or an Atlanta could sneak their way right back in the division. Tampa Bay's getting a little healthier. Bucky Irvin practiced. Does that mean he plays? The lineman came back last week, but Baker has not been as effective the past couple of weeks. He's not been able to run at all. But Tampa Bay, Buffalo, go.
Yeah. I don't think the other teams are going to catch Tampa Bay. I just don't. I don't think they're good enough. I don't think they're consistent enough. When you win the games that Carolina's winning and their quarterback throws for 150 yards a game, it's about one thing, their running game, which I think you can slow down and even stop. Buffalo is not winning the division. New England won last night. They're pulling away. I think the most desperate of the 2 are Buffalo. But both teams have created doubt. That's exactly what I wrote next to them when I sat down to do this game. Sense of urgency for both of them, more for Buffalo. Because if they lose to Tampa Bay, I think we might as well start talking about them as a wild card. What is wrong? And I'll leave it with this. Just Josh, because without Josh, they may be a 500 team. Josh has 5 interceptions in 9 games. Last year, he had 6 interceptions in 17 games. This year, here's the scary one. He's been sacked 20 times. Last year, he was only sacked 14 all year. He's on pace for 38 sacks. Put the focus on the offensive line with that, and maybe receivers that don't get open right now. I think David will have an opinion of that. Last year, he rushed for 52 first downs running. He's at 23 and on pace for 40. He's not running for first downs. He's getting sacked, and he's throwing more picks, and he's going to throw more picks before this year's over than he's did in the past. So he is not the same. I don't think it's his fault. I think it's receivers don't get open, and I think the line is having a lot of stress. The only thing he's got going is Cookie running the ball.
Do you feel the same way about Green Bay? Because that's what the folks in Wisconsin were saying after Monday night, that the line ain't what it was last year, and the receivers can't get open against anybody. And even when they do, Jordan Love won't look downfield because he doesn't think he has time to. Okay, the Packers offense looks broken. Do you think it is?
Yeah, historical question to you, David. In the days of Favre and even Rodgers, when Green Bay had off years, it was because of line injuries and the line wasn't as good. And I can remember some of those years, like, what is going on? The one tackle was hurt every other day. And it seems like they're in a situation where maybe it's not injuries, it's just maybe they're not good enough. But I would not compare Jordan Love at all to Josh Allen. But I get your point. No, I'm with you 100%. But I do think that's the same problem.
By the way, the center Jenkins broke an ankle out a month minimum.
Yeah. So here we go again with their injuries. And they have had them in the past, and it always seems to be a problem for them. Unlike Kansas City, who has offensive line issues, and they overcome them, Green Bay can't, and maybe Buffalo can't either. I'll ask you one question to the two of you. Who scares you on the Buffalo offense, not named Cook or Allen?
Nobody. Coleman's been a bust. Shakir there, he can get he's probably their best weapon. So I'm with you, Pat. I look at Buffalo, I look at Green Bay in the same way. They have, with Wilkins, he's good, but I just don't trust the receivers of either team.
Yeah, and when I ask you about Tampa Bay, because of the injuries with Evans and all that, who scares you besides Baker?
Abuka. That might be the rookie of the year in the NFC, David or Pat. I mean, he's legit. That kid's fantastic.
Yep. He is a machine, and Todd Bowles talks about him every week, and he's always got another good story.
It's why, if the reports are true, and the Bills offered a 1 and a 3 for Waddle, and the Dolphins said, we'll do it, but you have to switch when you give us the 1 and when you give us the 3, the Bills should have done it because they need a weapon, and without it, they ain't going to win.
I'm with you. Unfortunately, I am with you, and I don't know how far the Patriots are going to go, but they are rock solid on both sides of the ball. They're kind of like just good everywhere.
Pat Kirwan, NFL Radio's Moving the Chains, weekdays 3 to 7, Saturdays 2 to 5. Sunday, he and the NFL Today will be in Denver for the Chiefs and the Broncos. Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
And I double-checked, and we're done with the pinchers thing anyhow, but I double-checked Mello's thing there.
Yeah, I did too.
The website works, but when you go to buy a gift card, the page is not working.
Right. Yep, every other thing worked. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mello, because I just let them know.
I must say, I liked the Patriots unis last night. However, it breaks a cardinal Miller and Moulton rule. When you turn the TV on and you look at the screen, you should know who's playing. And when I had the game on, I obviously knew who was playing, but if you would have just put that game on and said who's playing, I wouldn't have been able to answer until I saw an up-close shot of a helmet.
I've had a few people comment this morning saying they also like the
I thought it was a sharp uni. I really did.
Yinzer, I agree with that, but what if they win? Which they should.
Yeah, David Coverdale announced yesterday he's retiring from music, begging the question, did anybody know that he was still performing? And I like Whitesnake. I saw them twice in concert when they were very big.
Right. Do you want to do NFL picks next?
Yeah, I think we have to. So I know you care about this more than anybody else not in the NASCAR world. But Pockgrass just put out a post saying that 23 and front row asking for Rick Hendrick not to be allowed to testify at trial because no date for deposition where he and his lawyers are available. NASCAR says he won't testify before December 8th when NASCAR likely presents its side. Deposition can be done the week before. I mean, this is getting lawyery and nitty-gritty and fascinating.
Morning, Joe. You there for the football game or family, or you a rebel and it's the final home game? I do, because first off, it's not at Green Bay, it's in Jersey. And I think the Packers O-line is not what it was.
Matt Hayes from USA Today. Headline, poor Michigan State. It can't even cheat with the NCAA as well as its rival Michigan.
Yep.
My goodness, is that funny?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Jay Lucas, the new men's basketball coach of the Canes. He will join us. He and the team are headed to Jacksonville to play the Gators Sunday night in prime time at the Veterans Memorial Arena, downtown Jacksonville. And it's on ESPN for those of you that won't make it. Tickets still available. We'll talk to the new head coach. Off to a good start coming up at the top of the hour.
All right. Because of that, we'll push our NFL picks up to this segment. We usually do it at 9, but we'll do it one segment early because we're going to talk to the Canes hoop coach here in a few minutes. Let's get after it. Washington at Miami, or Miami's the home team. It's in Madrid. What a treat for those folks. Although Orlando Alzagari's pitchers from over in Spain are beautiful. He seems to be enjoying the culture before he takes in the game on Sunday. I'm taking Miami, David. I think Washington's just a bad football team right now.
I think that the Commanders' defense is not to be repaired during this season. So Washington would need to win 38-35 type games. I think Miami will hold them in the 20s. I think the Dolphins win.
All right, the Chargers and Jacksonville. You already took the Chargers and laid the point, so I know you're taking the Chargers. I divorced the Chargers, but I think Jacksonville's done. I'm sorry. Prove me wrong, Trevor. That loss against Houston, to me, was the turning point of this season. I know J.P. Chadwick doesn't think so, but he's employed by the Jags. He's not allowed to. I'm taking the Chargers as well.
I don't think the Jags quit. I don't think this is what happened to the Bears last year. I just think that Herbert, who hasn't had a lot of success against the Jags, I like the quarterback matchup. I like the coaching matchup for the Chargers. And until the Jags defensive line, Mark, proves that it can take advantage of a banged up offensive line, I can't invest in them. They couldn't beat Houston's O-line last week. How are they going to beat the Chargers?
Tampa Bay at Buffalo. I think you took Tampa Bay in the points. I don't believe you think they're going to win. Maybe you do. I just don't see Tampa being able to do the things necessary to win this game. They've not been running it well. You should be able to run against Buffalo. They're still short a few players. That ultimately is going to hurt them. And at the end of the day, Buffalo needs this more. I'll take the Bills.
I like the Bucs to win. And yes, I did take them with the points. And I definitely like them to cover if they don't. I think because of the weakness at receiver, that the Bucs can run blitz Cook more than they run blitz normally. And they gave up 3 big running plays last week, and normally they give up none. I look for the Bucs run defense to tighten things up.
All right, Chicago at Minnesota. This was one of the games that I've hemmed and hawed on all day long because there's usually not sweeps, and I don't think there will be this year as well. I think Chicago is going to go on the road and pull off what's going to be a mild upset. I'll take the Bears. I like the way they're playing right now. I think that their defense will struggle, but I do think, I know you've got a great defensive team that blitzes well. Caleb's probably not seen out of a lot of that, but I like what Ben Johnson's doing with Caleb right now. I'm going to take the Bears.
If Jackson Dart had stayed healthy, the Giants would have beat the Bears last week. The Vikings are a better team than the Giants. Give me the Vikings. And by the way, if the Vikings lose, their season's over. They're 4-6. Put a fork in them. Done.
Green Bay at the Giants. Look, Green Bay has kind of hit rock bottom here with the way their offense have played the last few weeks. Nothing like Jameis Winston throwing interceptions to help someone out. I love Jameis. I wish he would have been great. If you didn't see the presser from yesterday, go get the highlight clips. He sings, for crying out loud. I love him. I love everything about him. You want to knock him for the crab legs? Do it at your own will. I'm taking Green Bay, but I'm rooting for Jameis.
I took the Giants and the points. I'm going to take the plunge. And I rarely do this with this team. All right. I think the Jameis dimension, remember, sometimes he does it in the same game. But a lot of times, you get good Jameis for 1 week, then you get bad Jameis the next. I think the Giants get good Jameis. I also think that defensive line, which is well compensated, but is not making plays down the stretch, can do so against this Packers offensive line. I'm going to take a flyer on the Giants.
All right. Houston at Tennessee. Tennessee's got awful. Houston going with the backup again. Can Tennessee win at home? They probably can. This is going to be, if I was doing Berman here, I'd pick this game Houston 12-10.
I agree. I just think that the Houston defense, the Titans' offensive numbers are pathetically bad. And I don't believe it's Cam Ward's fault. But he is having a bad rookie year because he is on a really bad team. Give me the Houston defense to win.
Carolina at Atlanta. Remember, Carolina whacked Atlanta last time. I think Atlanta will remember. I'm with David. I don't like the comments out of Penix saying that he's getting no help. Sean Salisbury went off on that, talking about he thinks quarterback's the worst coached position in football sometimes. And I am very interested to see how that plays out. But I'm going to take Atlanta, saying there's no way Carolina beats them twice.
Falcons have actually played 2 really good games in a row, and they've lost heartbreakers. And yes, Mark, they lost 30-0 at Carolina. It's impossible for me to believe that they don't remember that. I'm with you, though. This Penix's comments on top of the Falcons' record, if his play and their record doesn't dramatically improve down the stretch, I think Raheem's going to be 2 and done.
Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh lost to Cincinnati the first time. Flacco had a really good game. Pittsburgh scored enough to win, but couldn't stop Cincinnati. I don't know how many good teams Pittsburgh can stop, and offensively, Cincinnati is a good offense. Their defense is just horrible. But I'm going to take Pittsburgh at home. It's kind of their season, David.
Yeah, even though they're in first place, mathematically it's not. But realistically, if you look at the winnable games versus the challenging games, they need to stay ahead of the Ravens for as long as possible, at least until they have to play them head-to-head. I'm with you, Mark. Also, the whole sweep theory. Do we really think the Bengals are going to sweep the Steelers? I don't.
By the way, for what it's worth, I've had Steelers season tickets for about 4 years. It's where my wife's from. 2 years in a row, the only tickets we can't get rid of, the Cincinnati game. San Francisco at Arizona. I'm taking the Niners. I know they're banged up. I actually like the way Arizona's been playing, but what does Arizona do as well as anybody in the league? They lose close games. They'll lose this one.
I like the Niners. Cardinals kind of came back down to earth last week. I do think they'll play much better this week. This is a big week for Brock Purdy. Back in the starting lineup, Mac Jones had played pretty well. Brock, you need to play well. Not for losing your job, but for losing the room. Needs to play well. I think he will.
Seattle at the Rams. This is a great game. 2 really good teams. I think if you said either of these teams were playing in the NFC Championship, I think it'd be a safe bet. One of them, to me, certainly is the way they're playing right now. But I'm taking Stafford at home. He's been brilliant. I think it will continue. Pat talked about what happened to Sam Darnold the last time he played that Rams defense. I think they'll get to Darnold, and Stafford has another big game. Puka, Stafford, give me the Rams.
I think the Rams are the best team in the NFC. The Rams have given up 153 points in 9 games. You want to do the math? That's 17 a game. It's the best in the league.
Featured game of the week, Kansas City at Denver in a great NFL week, but this is the game. Pat's even going out. CBS will be there for their pregame show. Can Bo Nix win a close game against what we think is still an elite team? They haven't really played like it, but everybody still thinks Mahomes and company good enough to get to the Super Bowl. They are the odds-on favorite in the AFC to go to the Super Bowl. Until proven otherwise, give me the Chiefs.
If the Broncos didn't have the injuries that they have heading into this game, I'd pick Denver. But I'm going to take the Chiefs.
Baltimore at Cleveland. Baltimore's figured it out. They're getting better. Their defense played a little better last week even. They've played a couple good games defensively in a row. Nothing like playing one of the worst offensive teams in the league to make your defense look good. I'll take Baltimore at Cleveland.
Are we buying the Ravens' improvement on defense? Are we thinking this is exactly like last year? First half of the season last year, first 2/3 of the season last year, they were not good defensively. And then, boy, they figured some things out. And they were a tough out going forward. Do we think Baltimore's figured it out defensively? Because obviously with Lamar back, they're totally different on offense. So I don't think Dylan Gabriel and the Browns can score enough to win. But Cleveland does play Baltimore once a year tough. And this is probably that once.
You taking Baltimore, though?
Oh, yeah. I said I'm taking the Ravens.
All right, I'm just making sure. Detroit and Philadelphia. I mentioned the numbers earlier. If Detroit loses, they go down to a 1% chance of being the 1 seed. Philadelphia goes to nearly a 50% chance of being the 1 seed if they win, but they only go down to a 20% chance if they lose. I think this game's just bigger for Detroit. I'm playing a hunch here and maybe a little bit pulling on my heartstrings. Give me the Lions on the road.
The Eagles are 7-2. Their point differential's plus 26. So they're winning the close games. Meanwhile, Detroit's got the third best differential in the NFC. I think Detroit will score a few points. And I don't know if the Eagles offense will, even against that defense. All right. Because I think Jalen early in the game is going to try to force it to AJ and the receivers. And I wonder if he's going to throw a pick early because of it. I like the Lions 27-20.
And then Monday night, another riveting game for you after a whole weekend of great football. Dallas and Las Vegas.
Yep, it's one of the 4 games involving both teams with losing records in the NFL. Dallas coming off a bye. Both teams will play hard. It's a Monday night, the whole thing, blah, blah, blah. Can you really pick the Cowboys on the road?
I'm going to.
They're 1-4 on the road.
Vegas sucks. They suck.
I can't disagree with that, but I'm not sure that the Cowboys don't. I'm just saying, there's a part of me that thinks it's going to be a very emotional game for Dallas with the suicide of Nealand, and it's affected them a lot. And there's a part, the Jets had that emotional win for Nick Mangold last week, Mark. There's a part of me that wonders, will Dallas have one of those emotional performances? But I'm going to play a hunch and take the Raiders.
Ooh, look at you. All right. So we differ on Tampa Bay and Buffalo. David has the Bucks. We differ on Chicago and Minnesota. David has the Vikings. David taking a flyer and taking the Giants over Green Bay. And on Monday night, I'm taking Dallas. David taking the Vikings. He's +3 on the year on me. We have 4 games that we differ on this week. So those are our NFL picks. Great NFL weekend. We shall see if there's any separation, if Kansas City closes the gap on Denver, Detroit and Philly, big game for both, and obviously the Rams and the Seahawks. That's a look at what's going on in the NFL.
I think nationally we're all going to get the Broncos and the Chiefs, and yet the game that may interest me more is the Seahawks and the Rams.
Yeah, I'm with you. And that's a 4:05 game. It's on a different network completely. So that's a 4:05 start. The other one 4:25. So that, like I said, you got multiple good games in all time slots. There's a bunch of good 1 o'clock games. There's 2 really solid 4 o'clock games. And then obviously Detroit and Philadelphia on Sunday night. We will switch gears for those of you continuing on in the Diamond District bonus hour. Jay Lucas, the new head coach of the Miami Hurricanes basketball team. They've got a big one with the Gators on Sunday. We'll talk to the Canes head hoop coach. He's next. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com. Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you can be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com. Football season is back, and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell him Miller and Moulton sent you.
This is Miller and Moulton.
So I saw something interesting. Interesting, whatever. Interesting. Apparently the Cowboys, the organization, set up a GoFundMe for the, I guess, unborn child.
Yeah, she's pregnant. Yeah.
Okay. And I thought a Cowboy fan or somebody made a very interesting post when they took that and said, really, Jerry's a billionaire and he needs the fans to pay for her life. Okay. I just, why do the fans have to pay for it? Why isn't Jerry? Why isn't the NFLPA? I'm sorry. These people all make a boatload of money and you're asking the fans to do it. Okay.
I don't disagree.
Coach is all set.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour. Thrilled to have you in Jacksonville, Tampa, St. Pete, and Fort Myers, Naples. The final hour of our show, end of the week. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. And thrilled to have for the first time the new men's basketball coach at the University of Miami. He's Jay Lucas. The Canes off to a 3-0 start. Jay and his team will be in Jacksonville Sunday night. The Geico Jacksonville Hoops Showdown taking on the defending national champion, Florida Gators, 8:30, Veterans Memorial Arena. Tickets still available, but you can also watch it on ESPN. Coach, it's David and Mark. Thanks for your time. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you all?
Well, we are fine. Thanks for doing this. Hopefully we can do more of it in the future. Listen, you played under Billy Donovan and Rick Barnes. You've been an assistant under Shaka, John Calipari, and John Shire. We're talking about guys who were in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s when you either played for them or coached with them. Do the 50s and 60s guys think about the game and coach it the same way as the guys in their 30s and 40s?
No, they don't. They don't. And I will say this for them, the game and the kids and everything about the game that they grew in and became legends of coaching has completely changed. And I will say Coach Cal has done the best job adapting. And I will say Coach Barnes has done the best job of staying true to who he is and recruiting to it. But nothing about how they got their career, started their career is the same. So it's completely different, I will say.
You're off to a good start, 3-0. You've been scoring lots of points, but it's obvious you go up in class on Sunday taking on the Gators. What so far in the early part of the season have you liked the best about your team?
So far, I've liked that game by game, our identity and who we say we are and who we say we're going to be has started to show more and more. Of course, when you have 11 and 12 new players like most teams do, it takes a little bit of time to really mold your team and become who you think you're going to be. But I think game by game, we started to show that, and the guys have started to carry over the things that we've talked about when it comes to our culture and our identity. So I've been excited about that.
How much did the Canes making the Final Four, which will be 3 years ago in the spring, how much did that say to you when the job came open? Oh, well, heck, if they could do it once, I can do it too.
Absolutely. And the thing about when you get your job or when you become a head coach, most times you get it two ways. Either the coach was really successful and he left and took a job that someone be better, or a coach was doing really bad and he left. This was an evidence. I think Coach L had great success here at the University of Miami. He was getting older. The game is changing, so he decided it was time to step away. But he left the job with a great foundation. And I think a big part of looking at it wasn't a complete rebuild. It wasn't a total rebuild. It was just the opportunity to kind of build a team and build a program in my vision. But it had a great foundation and great bones with the recent success, like you just mentioned.
All right. You've been an assistant. David mentioned the people that you've coached with. What has been the hardest thing for you personally now that you're doing it yourself? It's a different world when you become a head coach. What's been the biggest adjustment for you now running it yourself?
The biggest adjustment, I think, is just something that most people have to adjust to year one, especially when it's your first time being a head coach. And the way I did it, I tried to hire the best people. So I haven't hired a bunch of people who technically work for me. So it's been coaching everybody. It's been coaching the staff. It's been coaching the players. It's been coaching the administration of how I want things done and terminology and things of that nature. So I think that's been the biggest adjustment is some things that, as a head coach and assistant coaches, because the places you've been, you feel will be second nature, but that's not absolutely the case. So just the coaching of everything, I guess, has been the toughest so far.
Jay Lucas, head coach of the Miami Hurricanes. They're 3-0. They come to Jacksonville Sunday night. It's the Geico Jacksonville Hoop Showdown. They take on the 10th-ranked defending national champion Gators from Florida. Jay, if you don't know, began his college basketball career playing for the Gators. It's 8:30 Sunday night in Jacksonville. Listen, you were dubbed. You know how they put labels on players and coaches, and the label on you was he's a great recruiter. Kind of curious. I mean, recruiting seems to be changing by the day. You've been a coach now for a dozen years. I mean, how radically different is it now than it was 6-10 years ago?
It's completely different. Nothing is the same. And, it's the gift and the curse about advancing the sport and new rules and everything that's going on is that things do change. But from what it was 6 years ago to what it is now with the transfer portal and NIL and just things of that nature, it's made it, I guess the best way to put it is made it more transactional than it has anything else. And you just have to make sure that when recruiting, you're finding the right people that fit what you're about and fit what you want your program to be about. And it's just become a lot harder to do that, but you still have to do the work and do the background and get all the intel and information to make sure you're getting the right one.
You're part of a pretty big basketball family. How much do you lean on family for advice?
It's big. When you have people in your family that have done the things that you want to do and who have kind of walked the same path. My father has been my biggest foundation, not only, as a player, but also as a coach, but also as a man, with everything he's been able to do and overcome in his life. And the same with my brother. So that is, this is my family business. I learned my love for the game and everything I love about basketball from the both of them. And so I would be remiss to say they aren't the biggest part of my journey and the biggest part of my foundation as a coach.
How bullish are you on the immediate future of the sport that you've dedicated your life to, first as a player and now a coach? I mean, obviously, it has changed a lot. It's probably going to change even a lot more filling out this decade. How bullish, though, are you on the future of college hoops?
I think it's headed in the right direction. I will say that. I do feel like the game needs to be modernized for the sake of a lot of things. I think there still are some things that we need to adjust and adapt. I still think there's a place where we need to get to quarters like they have in the women's game. I think that'd be big for the men's game moving forward. And I see light at the end of the tunnel. Now, the tunnel is still far away, but I do think in the next 5 years, we'll have a foundation when things start to settle out like you feel. Got to talk about conference realignments and what that looks like in a couple of years. But as for the game, I feel it's headed in the right direction. There still needs to be some guardrails and some guidance, but I do feel that everybody is working and moving in the same direction now.
All right, when I'm looking at the numbers, and it's so early in the season to start looking at numbers between two teams because this will all change, but you guys are scoring a ton. You don't put up a lot of threes. Is that by design, or is that something that will change?
Both.
Okay.
Is the best answer. You know, the way we're built, we're very similar built, both teams. We both have great, I guess, interior size and physicality when it comes to the paint. And a lot like them, they have new guards. So it's part of having new players, is adjusting and getting to understand where your shots are coming from. I think a big part for us why our paint points are so high is because we like to play in transition. And if we can get a layup in the first 7 seconds, we'll take a layup every time. And I think that's a big part of it. And then, you know, as the season starts to, unfold and you get more comfortable is where you start to see most of your shots being made, and you kind of really get a better glimpse and view of what your team will look like.
Well, you've been fortunate in this sense. You've opened up with Jacksonville, Bethune, and Stetson, and obviously you're better than them. So you've played 11, 12, 13 guys in these games. You're playing the Gators Sunday night. How short do you see the rotation getting beginning Sunday? 8, 9? What do you envision?
I envision if it's a perfect world and there's no foul trouble, I think 8, 9. But also it may end up being 11 just by the way the game goes. But what will happen is those guys off the rotation and guys off the bench, their minutes may shrink. You know, it may not be 12 minutes, 14 minutes, it may be 6, it may be 8, somewhere in there. But I think as we start to work our way through conference and get into March and hopefully in the NCAA tournament, I think that rotation will probably be about 8, 9.
I've always thought anybody can play defense. Defense is effort. You have to be skilled sometimes to be a great shooter and all those things. When you talk about wanting to score in transition, how much of that is predicated off of effort on the defensive end?
Oh, all of it. All of it. It's what we take pride in. It's what this program is going to be built on. It's what I love most about basketball. It's what I've coached. It is on the defensive end. And turning defense to offense is something that we've done really good the first 3 games. And we got to see on Sunday, you know, it's a good just gauge and a good test to kind of see how good we are defensively and how good we are scoring in transition. And so that's what I'm most excited about is just the opportunity to figure out where we are right now. Now, do I expect us to be our best version of what we can be? No, but I want to see where we are now and see how we stack up against, a top 10 team defending national champions.
Well, Jay, thanks for doing this. We're very appreciative. Safe travels. All the best on Sunday. Hopefully we can do this on a semi-regular basis. Coach L was good to us, and, you know, you're the next Coach L. So, Jay Lucas, thank you, and best of luck, and hopefully we can talk again.
I would love to talk to you all again. Anytime you need me, I'm here for you, and I appreciate the well wishes.
Jay Lucas, the first-year head coach of the Miami Hurricanes, off to a 3-0 start, taking on the Gators Sunday night in Jacksonville at the Veterans Memorial Arena in the Geico Jacksonville Hoops Showdown.
Obviously, his father, pretty good player.
John Lucas.
Pretty good player. Only went first overall in the NBA draft.
Right. Yep. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Pretty good. Just for what it's worth.
Jay, by the way, is young. I think he's 36. I think he turns 37 here next month. Young guy. Okay. But obviously well-groomed with who he played and coached with. Jay Lucas here on Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Thank you. Javier, the Gators were a basketball school for a long time.
David, I know we got in specifics a little about the game, but can we run that during Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I still got a lot of slots to fill.
Yeah. I think we really only asked one question.
I asked a couple, kind of, but
no, it was more a question about him and
right
hoops and Miami. So yeah. Well, thanks, guys, for the kind words.
Nice, Guillermo.
Yes.
Are you going to the Dolphins game on Sunday? Are you doing a little trip to Spain and then over to Madrid to see the Dolphins and the Commanders? Or is this just happenstance that you happen to be across the pond while the Miami Dolphins are in the same country as you are? And I'm very jealous because of the one place I want to go in Europe that I didn't go when I was there before. Everybody says the food in Spain is just off the hook.
Also, are you 6 hours? Is it 3?
6.
18 there?
6. Ladies' trip to go see a pro football game. Now that's something.
Oh, wow. It's 7 hours.
Oh, they must not do the daylight savings, or they don't, or they stay with it or
Nice.
whatever.
Nice. Getting dark soon? That's what we have here, unfortunately.
I got to see here. Got to check and see how our guy did on 18 and what time he tees off today.
Frankie?
Yeah.
I would love for him to.
Oh, he made a birdie early today. He's already on 7. He's T5 at 6 under.
Great.
So he's made one birdie, started on the back. He's on 17, which is a par 5. Oh, come on, kid.
Would love for him to win. Keep his card.
I mean, think of the difference. You go from making nearly $1 million to he'll have some status for some events, but he's going to have to play well in those. And then you're on the Corn Ferry, where if you do well, if you're one of the top 20 guys, what are you making? 300, 250?
Sounds about right.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when. Some final thoughts, a pick or two on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Got started with the Patriots winning their 8th in a row. First team to get to 9 wins this year. They're 9-2. They beat the Jets last night 27-14. Travion Henderson, the breakout for him in the last few weeks. The 2 big touchdown runs against the Bucs, 3 touchdowns last night, 2 rushing, 1 receiving. Drake May continues to play well. Stephon Diggs continues to look like, 85%, 90% of the guy in Buffalo?
At least.
So
he looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got, like you said, they've got a legitimate running back. He had some fumble problems early. Now he has the trust of the coach again. They've got a number 1 receiver. Is he still an elite number 1? No, but he's still a number 1. He's still getting open. Drake May throws a great deep ball. A great deep ball. I know it was the Jets, but a win's a win.
Darn right. Yep. And besides, to win 8 in a row, don't care who you're playing, that's pretty impressive. And amongst the 8 in a row are at Buffalo and at Tampa Bay. So they deserve all the plaudits that they're getting. It's a key college football weekend. There's about 10 teams that just need to take care of business. They're comfortably favored. Most of them are at home. Just do what you're supposed to do. But there's 4 games involving ranked teams against one another. The 2 SEC showdowns, Texas and Georgia, Oklahoma and Alabama. By the way, isn't this what the SEC envisioned when they brought Texas and Oklahoma into the conference? Here we are. It's mid-November, boys. Okay. Oklahoma, go to Alabama. Texas, go to Georgia. You guys need to win, by the way. Good luck.
It is part of, and I know you obviously you've been working with Gary forever and you used to do these games, and now you're doing Michigan State and Penn State. Oh, joy. But it is, when you look at the slate right now, and yeah, there were some weeks earlier in the season that there weren't a lot of good games, but it seems like all the juice in this conference is SEC games right now. I mean, in this sport, there just haven't been marquee matchups anywhere else that have been able to get national attention. I mean, Fox Big Noon Kickoff, they try to make a big deal out of that. It's Michigan and Northwestern, for crying out loud.
The middle of the SEC is better than the middle of the Big Ten, and some of the schools in the middle, whether it's the upper middle, middle, or bottom middle, have beaten some of the teams up top. And therefore, you look at these matchups and you think that more of them are in play. The other two games this week with ranked teams facing one another. Notre Dame at Pitt. Game day, by the way, at Pitt. First time in 20 years. Notre Dame at Pitt. Pitt's got a brutal finishing schedule. Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, and Miami. Okay, I mean, please. If they were to run that table, yes, they belong in the playoff at 10-2. I don't care. I don't even care what they do in Charlotte. Honestly, if they were to run that table, put them in. But can they beat Notre Dame, who offensively right now seemingly can score 30 on anybody? Anybody. Wouldn't you love to see Notre Dame play Ohio State? Okay, in a playoff, like a second round, or Notre Dame in an 8-9 game, okay, and they play the winner, and that's Ohio State. Wouldn't you like to see Ohio State's vaunted defense against Notre Dame's offense?
Yes, very much so. Very much so. I'd love it, because look at when Notre Dame lost those first two games, we still thought Notre Dame was good. That's the big difference. It wasn't Northern Illinois like last year. They lost two close games to two teams. One still we think is really good. The other one, well, they just Miami. That's what they do.
4 points. They lost those two games by 4 points.
With a freshman quarterback.
Right. In which you wonder how would they do in those two games now, just 2 months later, because obviously he's a different player. Although
if you schedule the Miami game in November, it's a win.
And
I'm just sick. I'm sick about trying to pick the Canes and let's go Canes. They disappoint, and I'm not even a fan. I like the Canes a lot, but it'd be hard being a fan of that team right now because they let you down. They let you down.
Well, yeah, because you lost to two teams who you're clearly more talented than. So that makes you question what? Your heart, your coaching. That's a very volatile road to have to go down as a fan. And it's not a pleasant one. That's not a smooth ride. That's an uncomfortable journey. And then, if Iowa had hung on against Oregon last week, I think this one would have more juice, but it's an absolute must for USC. And we talked about Pitt's gauntlet down the stretch. Well, here's USC, home for Iowa. Hey, ranked team, they're good. Okay. At Oregon, don't have to say a whole lot more. And if by chance they pull those two off, they have to beat their archest of rival in order to make the playoff? I mean, you tell me, Mark, where are they, 17? I mean, we've talked earlier in the week, how can Miami get in as an at-large if they don't get in the ACC title game and win it? USC, 2 losses, one of them to Notre Dame, so they only have the one Big Ten loss. If they run the table, are they in the Big Ten title game? If not, are they a playoff team? Do we take them over Oregon? Do we take them both?
It's the question of do we take them both? But when I look at it, Oklahoma loses, I think USC would pass them. Texas splits. Would USC get ahead of Texas? I don't think so. I don't.
Texas is 10 right now, and by split, they're playing Georgia and A&M both in the top 5. No, I actually think Texas's 9-3 would be judged ahead of USC's 10-2. Really close, though. Really close.
All right, here's another one for you. BYU runs the table and gets to the Big 12 championship game. BYU's 11-2 if they lose to Texas Tech again, or USC.
USC. This is
I don't
where
think so. I don't think so.
Okay, and
I mean,
BYU
this is a TV show. I got you.
You're right. BYU is 12 right now. USC is 17. I think they would just look at the Big 12 and deem it a one-bid league. And yes, hey, come on now. We all saw it happen a couple years ago. It's a TV show. They'll set it up the way they want to set it, and they'll give you whatever reasoning they want to give you. But we're talking about Texas here. We're talking about USC here. We're talking about Notre Dame here. I mean, come on now.
Miami runs the table. USC runs the table. Who gets in?
Oh, man.
Right. I mean,
I
this
think
is
it
going
would
to be
depend.
the committee is going to, they're not going to earn their money, but there are some scenarios in which they've got their work cut out for them.
Okay, here's what I think Miami would need. I think Miami would need Pitt to beat Notre Dame, and then they'd have to beat that Pitt team. In fact, don't they play Pitt the last game of the year?
They do.
Would Pitt have
Pitt loses to Notre Dame but beats Georgia Tech?
I don't think that'd be enough. I don't. It would be
Utah's at 13. I think they'd get leapfrogged by all of these teams. BYU to me is an interesting case.
Notre Dame what? 9? Oregon 10 or Texas 10. Miami 15, USC 17.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you can be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
They've cut the nets, they've raised the banners, and now they're headed to Fort Myers. Michigan State, North Carolina, and other top programs take the court in the Skechers Fort Myers Tip-Off this Thanksgiving week. Legendary programs, championship traditions, college basketball's biggest names, live at Suncoast Arena. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now at FortMyersTipoff.com/go. That's FortMyersTipoff.com/go.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to NolanAgency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or NolanAgency.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
By the way, as I just typed, for those of you wanting to support Pinchers because of their support for us, pinchersusa.com. Apparently on the site, there's like 4 icons. One of them is shop. You click on it. It's not working. But the top bar, that square with the indents in it. Okay, you click on that and like 6 things come down and one of them is shop. You click on that and it works. Don't know why the other one doesn't work. And we've let them know that, the main thing doesn't work, but you can get gift cards. You just have to go to the top bar, click on the square, it comes down, you hit shop, it works. So sorry for the inconvenience. They still need to get that fixed.
That's what I was going to say. David, by the way, we were way off on Corn Ferry money. The guy leading the money in the Corn Ferry Tour has made $830,000 this year.
Wow.
Right.
So who's 20? Because I guess top 20 make it. Although they do it by points. So
they do it by points. But
is he making 500?
No. Like 350.
Okay.
But that one shocked me a little bit. And it is the middle of the SEC is certainly better, but it's the bottom is where the big difference. Like Auburn's 1-5.
Right.
Minnesota or Auburn, who you taking? You know what I'm getting at here.
I am.
You know, Florida and LSU are in the bottom.
Right. And I'm definitely taking Auburn over Purdue. Michigan State.
No, you're not torturing me. That's a trip I want to make. All things work out for me. That is one I really want to make.
I thought that Jay Lucas thing was okay.
I thought it was great. Almost reached out to one of your friends for this next segment, David.
Okay.
I was going to call her, but she's probably busy, and she wouldn't have known who it was if I texted her, but I was going to let her do her own good today. That's my tease to you.
Wow, very nice.
Yeah, the problem, Guillermo, is that I'm never really allowed to take vacations in the fall. It's one of the things about this job that makes it difficult. Because I'm not doing the show on vacation. That's just something that's not happening. That's nap time over there, right, Guillermo? I mean, aren't you supposed to lay down, take a nap, and get up and have dinner at like 9 tonight? Spain, they eat late.
Yeah, so I guess the show would start at 2, right? The show over there would be 2 to 6.
Oh, what a dream that would be. Remember those days?
No, it'd be 1 to 5. Right? No, it's 7 hours. Yeah, 7 hours. It'd be 1 to 5.
Oh. No music there. We're back. That's my fault. I knew I had to do it. I took it out last week, and I let everybody, people got tricked because we had to tape the last segment last week. So I took out the bumper music because I had it built in what we taped. I didn't replace it. I didn't see my note. I screwed up. That's on me. Welcome back, Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com. Sorry about the dead air for about 4 or 5 seconds there. That's on the host that runs the board. That would be yours truly. Since we missed a few seconds, let's get to the stuff we do.
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
Boy. Wondered why I was waiting for the music to play like a moron. All right, where do we start today? 1851, Moby Dick published. Today in 1856, Gale Borden issued a patent for his invention of condensed milk. You know, Borden milk. Treasure Island published today in 1883. The USC Trojans, then called the Methodists, played their first football game today in 1888. Big jump all the way to 1960. Ray Charles, Georgia on My Mind, reaches number 1. The one they don't talk about today in 69, Apollo 12, the second manned mission to the surface of the moon, was launched from Cape Canaveral. Richard Nixon viewed the liftoff from the pad in Cape Canaveral, first president to attend a liftoff of a manned space flight. A little bit tricky, too. 36 seconds after takeoff, lightning struck the Saturn V launch rocket, tripped the circuit breakers, caused a power failure. But the launching rocket continued up normally, and within a few minutes, power was restored.
It's interesting that you used the word tricky involving Nixon because he was known as
Tricky Dick.
Tricky Dick.
Today in 1970, tragic day for Marshall University. Flying home from a game against East Carolina, the plane crashed. 37 players, 25 team boosters, coach, and doctors all died as the citizen of Huntington wrote later, the whole heart of the town was aboard.
I love the movie. I thought they did a really good job, bringing us and making us realize just how devastating it was, and also those that helped. I mean, how could you not feel even better about Bobby Bowden after watching that movie?
Today in 1981, a couple of things. First, Bear Bryant ties Amos Alonzo Stagg with his 314th win. But for two boxing guys, I'll bring this one up. It was the first championship fight between two Puerto Rican boxers. It was the WBC Super Welterweight Championship. Benitez beat Carlos Santo in a 15-round unanimous decision at Caesar's Palace. Fight world was so good in the 80s.
Oh, my goodness. So the non-heavyweight division were amazing.
All of them. I mean, just so many from the lightweights through the middleweights. Just great, great fighters.
Great stuff.
Today in 83, at the Metrocrest Theater in L.A., Michael Jackson's 14-minute Thriller debuted. In attendance, Warren Beatty, Diana Ross, and Eddie Murphy. The 14-minute film got a standing ovation, and the crowd demanded an encore, which was granted. Today in 88, Murphy Brown made its premiere on CBS. Today in 1990, James Worthy got busted. He was trying to pick up a couple of hookers.
Yes, he was.
91, Michael Jackson's Black or White music video premiered in 27 countries on Fox TV and MTV in the U.S. 93, Don Shula becomes the coach with the most wins in NFL history. 94, the first public trains run through the Channel Tunnel, linking England and France under the English Channel. And today in 2018, Jacob deGrom wins the Cy Young. He had 10 wins, fewest ever by a Cy Young winner in a non-strike shortened season. Claude Monet, Joseph McCarthy, Boutros Ghali, McLean Stevenson, P.J. O'Rourke, and Willie Hernandez would have all celebrated birthdays today. I just wanted to say Boutros Ghali, and I got to say it twice.
Nice.
King Charles is 77. Condoleezza Rice, 71. Jack Sikma is 70. Run, half of Run DMC, is 61. Kurt Schilling is 59. Dana Stubblefield, 55. Aaron Taylor, 53. Francisco Lindor is 32, and Devontae Smith is 27 years old today. What did I miss, David?
Condoleezza Rice, by the way, just as nice as you think she is. Okay. And I've only seen her at sporting occasions, and she's a huge college football fan. But, I've seen her at NFL and a couple of college games, and she's been in a very good mood every time. I just want to make sure. You had Moby Dick, right?
I did.
Did you have Billy the Kid?
No.
He got killed today. Okay.
Hey.
Unless it's a different Billy the Kid. Billy the Kid Claiborne? Is that a different Billy the Kid?
I don't know.
I did. So anyway, Billy the Kid killed today. All right. In Tombstone, Arizona. So could be different Billy the Kids.
Oh, I doubt it.
I know, but
Pat Garrett, right? Shot him, isn't that who it was? Pat Garrett, sorry. Yeah, I got that right. Don't worry. Trust me on that one.
Gotcha. I think it's a different Billy the Kid because they said some guy named Frank Leslie killed him. So my bad. It's like, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard. My bad.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
I damn near made a phone call or a text to get the person who the good is responsible for on the show. She's been a guest before. We go to Waco, Texas for the good, where one Nikki Collin, the Baylor coach, was driving home from an assistant's birthday Saturday night when she heard meowing coming from her car. She thought she was hearing things because she didn't have a cat, but she kept hearing it. She didn't see anything. When she got home, she had her son come listen. And Connor, her son, realized that under the front driver's side wheel and behind the fender cap was a 4-week-old kitten. Mom took over with the motherly instinct. They thought about taking the cat back to where it was from, but apparently the mom didn't want now that they had touched it. So she was at CVS getting replacement milk and feeding the cat with syringes. Nikki now has a cat. For the bad, we go to Boston, where an alligator was spotted this week in the Charles River. It was safely captured by the owner of Joe's Crazy Critters. Joseph Kinney, the owner, said it was tucked in some reeds and about 1.5 feet of water. And because it is, late fall, the gator wouldn't have lasted long. He's keeping it as his animal ambassador at Joe's Crazy Critters until he figures out what he's going to do with the gator. Finally, the ugly. Where else but Cape Coral? CCPD was called into action because shots were heard at a residence. When they got there, they found William Laird in the home of where the gunshots came from. According to the arrest report, Laird was playing cards at the bar, and he got into his argument with his girlfriend before coming home. When he got home, he brought the gun out of the safe and fired 6 shots into the ceiling. He's facing charges of disturbing the peace, damage to property or person, improper exhibition of a firearm, use of a firearm under the influence of alcohol, and 6 counts of DUI with damage to property. That is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, Friday, November 14th. It's brought to you by the Cape Coral Police Department, hiring new officers. Great pay, great benefits, and hell, a pretty good website where you can find some of these stories. Where do they go to find the stories or get a job, David?
CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. So I'm going to go on a little tirade here. I don't know about a tirade, just a vent. So, listen, we got a lot going on this weekend. We've gone through the Saturday and Sunday football. There is college football tonight. There's Louisville hosting Clemson, 7:30 on ESPN. Louisville, a 2.5-point favorite at home. Oregon, 9 o'clock, Big Fox, hosting the Gophers. Minnesota needs one more win to be bowl eligible, I believe. Oregon, a 25.5-point favorite. Wow. 9 o'clock on Fox. So, Mark, are you aware of where the Penguins and the Preds are playing tonight and Sunday?
Not a clue. My guess is by the tone in your voice somewhere in Europe, because they usually do a 2-gamer. I want to say last year they went to Sweden. They kind of do this every year. So let's see. Pens. I have no idea where they would put, I'm trying to think of who the player is that they're trying to get to see go.
You nailed it. They're in Europe. They're in Sweden. They're in Stockholm tonight and Sunday. But it's not tonight. It's 2 p.m. today. And it's 9 a.m. Sunday. What channel would these games be on? You're the NHL. That you're doing this. You're wanting some people to see it outside of Stockholm, right? NHL Network. You've got ESPN and Turner as your broadcast partners. You can't get one of them. First off, you can't get ESPN to pick the 2 o'clock in the afternoon game up today. Seriously?
Now that's a possibility. That one I get 2 p.m. today. 9 a.m. on Sunday. If I was ESPN, I'd tell them hell no.
No. But you can't get Turner to run the game 9 a.m. on Sunday? I mean, come on now. Aren't you doing this so that people see your product and get attention and the whole deal? You're going to do these games and put them on NHL Network? What's the point? NBA's got 9 games tonight. The Amazon doubleheader is Heat Knicks at 7, Warriors Spurs at 9:30. They played a great game earlier this week. That Golden State won. Orlando's in action tonight. They're hosting the Nets. The Nets have 1 win on the year, so I like the Magic's chances. So, college hoops, by the way, 10 games tonight. One of them involves ranked teams. Arizona and UCLA used to be a conference game. Not anymore. But it's a good one.
Yes, it is.
And they're playing tonight.
Yes, it is. All right. By the way, when we're back on Monday, you folks with YouTube TV or Xfinity have a new sports channel debuting. While everybody out there is cutting channels, NBC Sports debuts on Monday. They will have NBA games, and apparently they will have NBA playoff games, David.
Wow. So are they like taking the stuff that's just exclusively on Peacock and putting it now on their cable channel also?
That's what I'm seeing.
Gotcha. I'm curious how much of the stuff that's been running on USA Network is now going to run on this channel. Because USA Network, I believe, is under a different umbrella. It's USA Network, Golf Channel, and CNBC are now their own thing, separate from NBC Sports and NBC News.
It is fascinating to me. What do they know that no one else does?
Right.
Because everything's going to streaming. No one's starting new networks. And NBC says, hey, we will.
4 years
to me.
4 years after shuttering this very network.
Right. So there you have it. A little bit of what's going on tonight. We know how big of a weekend it is. Great Saturday. Unbelievable Sunday. All day long Sunday. Just enjoy the football. Big games. Tampa and Buffalo, obviously a big one. Chiefs and the Broncos, the Sunday night game, terrific. Enjoy your weekend of football. Mix a little hockey and basketball in if you want to as well. We'll be back to break it all down Monday morning. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com. Have a great weekend. Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
The 2025 Industry Appreciation Awards in Fort Myers have wrapped up, but the celebration of business excellence continues, hosted by the Lee County Economic Development Office, Horizon Council, and Horizon Foundation. This annual event honors the innovators, job creators, and community builders driving the region forward. Visit industryappreciationawards.com to see this year's winners and learn how local businesses are shaping a stronger, more resilient economy for Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
At the Diamond District, we know what you want.
Experience wall-to-wall diamonds during our diamond event, November 21st through 23rd.
This is our biggest event of the year, featuring an expanded collection of GIA certified diamonds, designer jewelry, and exclusive collections from Takori.
This is the perfect time to start your holiday shopping.
More diamonds, more choices. November 21st through 23rd, only at the Diamond District.
At the Diamond District.
This is Miller and Moulton.